welcome to Season AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. We are live now on YouTube. I know it's a late one. I had one or two things to do and couldn't really get away on time. So I was supposed to do this broadcast about 2 hours ago, but I'm running late. Okay. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. First of all, I want to know if you can hear me, those of you on TikTok and on YouTube. We're going to be checking one or two things, and I do hope you can join us. I know it's late. I do apologize for the lateness. We will try and do what we can. Oh, I forgot to switch that on. That's a shame. I didn't realize. Okay. The phone is down, so I can't make the calls. Good evening, good evening, good evening. I said I'd come back tonight. Sorry I'm late. It's just that I had one or two things to do, so I couldn't really get off as planned. I hope I find you well. You are watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Good evening. We're still on the drive. This is a story of a young girl, Amina, and it is very painful. But I want us as Africans to begin to see ourselves that we have solutions to our problems. The solution is not in the sky, it's not with Jesus, it's not with Allah, it's not with any of those illusions. The solution is with you and I. How quickly are we prepared to come together and solve our problems? That is the essential question. We have everything we need on this planet. If many of you would have seen my broadcast earlier on, hello Yaz, welcome Yaz, DTV, good evening to you, sir. I'm going to send to everybody. And if you can join me, you can join me. I'll try and restrict you to no more than 2 hours, tops, no more than 2 hours. If I'm going to do if it's going to be going past that, I'll let you know, because I know we all have to go and get some rest. Good evening. Welcome to Season AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Now, let me show you the picture of this Amina. Amina is living, that's where she lives. That's where Amina lives. And Amina is living there because she believes. If you look at the way Amina is dressed, Amina is Muslim. She is a God-fearing girl. She's had a lot of tough time. I'm going to play the video and you will hear her ordeal. It is painful, painful, painful. Now, the object is not to feel sorry. The object is, what are we going to do as a community? What can we begin to do as a community? You see, we have been lied to. We've been lied to make us believe that Africa is a charity case. Africa is not poor. Africa has been impoverished. What did I say? I said Africa is not poor. Africa has been deliberately impoverished. And it is important, very big difference. It's one thing if you're poor. It's another if you're deliberately impoverished. And that is what we're going through in Africa. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Yes, let me invite Werner and I'll invite those two again. We can talk. Now, I'm going to try and play the video. But before I do, everybody on here, I need you to know that you are part of the solution. The fact that you are joining this broadcast tells me that you want to solve the problem. We need to take collective action. That is why this program means a lot to you. That is why you are here. You are looking to solve the problem. I need you to know that you are part of the solution. And I need you to see that in your mind, that you are part of the solution for Africa. And I want you to know that never limit yourself or those around you, particularly at home, to praying to God. God will do it. We are limiting ourselves. There is a line I'm going to try and read to you today, which I find really heartbreaking. In the Leopold reports. If you saw what I posted earlier today, I was talking about Leopold. There was a video about Leopold, which I talked a lot about certain things in there. And believe you me, it is painful. It is extremely painful. Let me see. Is it there? Yeah, got it. Got it. Yes, yes. So, um, what I want to do, I'm gonna try and play. I will try and play the video. I'm gonna play the video. Let me know. Can you hear me? Can you all hear me? Those of you on TikTok, can you hear me? Just type yes if you can hear me. Type yes if you can hear me. I hope you have not lost a connection. We're here. We're live. If you can hear me, let me know. Type yes. Let me know if you can hear me on TikTok. I just wanted to know before I go too far ahead. Type yes, please, if you can hear me. So can I get a yes if you can hear me? Is that green? That looks like it's green. I think you can hear me, but I'd like to confirm it. So type yes if you can hear me, because we are going to play a video shortly, which I'm about to play. But before I play the video, I need you to know one of the things that has been done to Africa. And I'm going specifically into the King Leopold letters. I'm going into the King Leopold letters. It is really painful. It is painful. We should, which is why God lies. I'm trying to find the right words. Oh, hi, can you hear me? Is somebody? Yeah, you can hear me. That is the Amina. I'll keep adding you. I'll add you again. I'll add as many people as I can. I know there's a problem with the network. I think that's why probably people can't Can you hear me? Can anybody hear me? I just want to know if you can hear me. Before I go too far ahead, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Hi, brother. Yeah, I can. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Okay, can you? Okay, I can't see you. I didn't see you on. Come on. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I was going to go to sleep.
Oh, sorry about that. I do apologize. Good evening. I had to do one or two things, and it took
No, it's
longer than necessary. Now, there's a picture of Amina. I'm gonna play the voice shortly. You will hear it play. She is a university
sorry,
student.
internet is cutting. Your voice is breaking.
Oh,
We can't hear you.
you can't hear me. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
You can hear me now. Okay, let me see.
Yes.
Okay, that's probably what it is. Okay, I'll just do it without this tonight then. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Now, there is a young lady that I'm playing. If you look at the picture, that's Amina. Amina, she's in Nigeria. She's a university student. If you look below her waist, it's water. That's where she lives. That is where she lives in and she's studying in University of Lagos. I think she's a 300 level student. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is it's painful to watch this, but I want us to know that unfortunately, because of how we have been taught to rely on Islam and Christianity, Amina and her community has not come together to make sure that students like her don't end up in the situation that she's in, because we have not been aware of our rights as citizens. And this is happening right across the whole of Africa. It's one thing to say you're going to give charity. Yes, I'm going to give charity. I'm going to give charity. How many are you going to help? How many are we going to help? It's better we now look at the system, because in the UK, students get help. The system is designed to help the students and the community. And that is what we need. We are leaving it. We've been leaving this to the hands of Allah and Jesus Christ for so long. They're pies in the sky. They will never ever give us anything, and they will never ever materialize. Let me play that video. Then I will then come back with a comment. Let's do this. Okay, I'll play the video. You will hear it.
You're a student of the University of Lagos.
Yes, I am.
300 level.
Yes.
Listen. She's crying because she's in squalor. You won't be able to see it
What's
on
her name?
TikTok, but
Amina.
Amina.
she's
Amina,
living.
you live here.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
That's where she's
Okay.
living.
So how long have you been living here?
It's been a long time ago.
Like how many years?
Over 10 years.
10 years.
What about your parents?
My mom is late.
Okay.
My dad is still alive.
Okay.
That's what you're hearing.
not you.
She's talking from
Why?
inside that building
Is he
there that
taking
she's
care of
saying.
you? You're taking care of yourself.
Her mom's late.
I take care of myself.
Okay. Is there a reason why your dad don't want to take care of you?
Probably because he doesn't have the capability.
Okay. So would you mind we going to your home, touring your home?
Yes, I don't mind.
Okay.
So
let's
she's
go.
going to go inside and she's walking in water. She's stepping literally in water. She's stepping in water in her home. Sophia, I'll bring you on board as well. She's stepping in water. Her bed is having to be raised. Her sofa, everything. I mean, and she's a university student. I have no words. I wish you could see the picture. You can join me
How are you
on
coping here? It's
on-
really,
on
it's
Face-
really, like, how are you coping?
YouTube.
The water seems
And you
black.
will see
The water is
what
black.
I'm saying.
And she's living here.
She's living in a place with
What do you
water
do
black.
for a living?
I'm a student.
She's a student.
I'm currently studying. So I do
Student of what
Unilag.
school? Eh?
Unilag, University of Lagos,
What are you studying?
biology education,
What level?
300.
Can we confirm this? Can we confirm if you are
So
studying?
listen,
Yes, I have my course form.
Wow. And you stay here alone.
Yes.
So what do you do for a living? How did you manage to get stuff to eat, stuff to get for your school and all?
I do home teaching. Like I go to people's home to teach their children.
Okay.
That's how I get money to feed.
So how much did you make monthly?
Well, it's close to 40,000.
How did you cope with mosquito bites here?
It's terrible. Most of the time I get mosquito coil, and I'm always disturbed by the smell. Like I have to keep the coil there constantly so that the smoke keeps them away, but still it's not effective.
So
she's literally
where
living
did you
in
cook?
water.
Where do you cook?
I cook inside. This is my cooking gas. So I
Oh,
stay
this is
on
where
the
you
bed.
fresh your water. Yeah, you stay where?
I stay on the bed and
To cook.
okay. I can't get on the bed with the bed.
It's okay. You can't. Oh, you stand on the bed to cook.
Yes.
Oh, so this is where you keep your.
Stands on the
So you
bed
can
to
see the
cook
clean
because she's
water.
living in water.
Your pots. So
In
when,
the
how
house.
do you how do you want us to believe
And
you
they're
cook? Where's
charging
your
her money
pots?
for that.
Those are my pots.
We have to do better.
All my
We have to do better.
equipment.
We have to do better.
That's why I used to cook.
All of us, I include myself, all of us. This is happening across the whole of Africa, not just Nigeria. This is the whole of Africa. And then somebody will come and talk to you about some democracy somewhere. We have to do this. It's on you and me. We need to do this. Look, and then they're showing where she's living. It's a heap of rubbish. I mean, it is the toilet.
Where Amina takes a bath every morning.
She takes a bath in this place, which is you won't put an animal where this girl is living. You wouldn't put an animal there.
When there's movement, the smell come out. So I just make sure. That's why I put all these grates. I just climb on them. But when there's movement, it stinks.
Oh, that is the reason you added all these crates,
Yes,
so you will not cause movement of the water
yes.
to avoid the water. Smelling.
We will come and talk, but
Wow.
I'm just keep listening.
Since you sew.
Yes, I learned how to sew. I actually know how to sew,
Wow.
but I don't have the equipment to.
You said?
I don't have the tools to sew, so I was gifted this. But
So that is the harrowing story of Amina. I'm deliberately holding it together because it is heartbreaking. My reflection, your reflection, our reflection is living in squalor. And many of this is because it's not that we don't have the resources, it's not that we don't have the wealth, but we've been conditioned to believe that we don't have access to it. And that makes us believe to look to God, to the heavens for prayers. If you saw the video I played earlier today, where a pastor in Congo was talking about the fact that King Leopold said, teach them, teach them that it is good for them to suffer. They should accept that they are going to suffer. Us Africans are going to suffer. We will suffer because the kingdom of heaven is only available to people who are poor. And then he said that the gold that they found and the wealth that we're having in our resources in Africa is worthless. But there is gold that people, when they get to heaven, they will walk on streets of gold. Are you hearing me? I hope you're hearing me. King Leopold told pastors, bishops who are going to um, all over Congo. So imagine this, and this is not only King Leopold saying this in Congo. This is what has happened across the whole of Africa. Now you can now begin to see our mentality of accepting the injustice that's been put on us. Because we've been psychologically, they were forced. Let me read this word to you. Let me read this to you. Let me see. I'm going to read this place here. Your knowledge of gospel will allow you to find text ordering and encouraging your followers to love poverty. Happy are the poor because they will inherit heaven. It's very difficult for the rich to enter the kingdom of heaven. Like I said, you have to detach from them and make them disrespect everything which gives courage to affront us. I make reference to the mystic system and the warfare protection, which they pretend not to want to abandon. You must do everything in your power to make it disappear. Your action will be directed essentially to the younger ones, for they won't revolt when the recommendation of the priest is contrary to that of their parents' teachings. The reason I'm saying all of this, we have to understand that we, the people, our actions in not taking action collectively is down to the psychological breakdown of our communities. We have to empower ourselves. Amina in squalor. She's having to put her stove and everything on a high place so that the water, if it's in water, she can't cook. So what I'm saying here, that we can now see the connection between the religions of Islam and Christianity, because and I put Amina there because Congo is about Christianity, the King Leopold, but Islam is equally doing the same thing. The people are relying on something in the sky when they have everything they need around them. We need to change that mentality. That's why the program that we're running, I've been trying to add a few people and I will add some more. We are trying to do something. Everybody needs to be aware of their rights in their local language. Because if the community is involved in this, if the community at large begins to hold their governance to account in the local language, Amina will not be in that place. It is a collective responsibility. Her mom died, her dad cannot afford it. So even the dad, everybody in the community, this is why I'm saying, if we stand back and we think, oh, God help, then we are leaving ourselves to be continuing in this poverty process, whereby we will keep hoping and hoping. We don't need hope. We have wealth. And those who want our wealth, those who don't want our wealth, told us that our wealth is worthless. And we are believing that lie. This is why, for me and for many of us, religion is a threat to our very existence. And it is causing poverty in our land. Please join us and find out whatever country you are in Africa. I need you to please join us in this plan that we're having. Start looking at the constitution in your countries. Translate as much as you can the key areas, for example, in Nigeria, 14.2a, 14.2c, into local languages so that the people can begin to wake up and begin to take collective action to demand for what is theirs. We cannot just say, oh, we're going to help Amina. There are many Aminas around. We have to help the entire community, and it starts with the community. We need to go back to our community spirit. We have to go back there. And that is why when I saw the video, it's just made me, it's no point just going, oh, I know we have solution. The question is, are we all committed to this? And how can we infuse the stakeholders within every community to begin to spread the knowledge about their rights and begin to apply that knowledge to hold the governors to account? We need action, not prayer, not on my knee. God, Allah Akbar, pray. Nonsense. Waste of time. Thoughts, please. Problem solving. What would you like to say? I know you've been listening for a while.
Yes, I have been listening for a while, and we fundamentally know what the root cause is with this. You're right. There's a lot of Aminas. Aminas is around Africa. The situation is it's not unique, but this is one of them. I think this is one of the situations where this is a direct symptom or impact of religion or something that we perceive as having the power. You did mention something about King Leopold.
Yes.
And talking about
telling us to look
about the riches of his father's mansion.
That's it,
Talking
in the heaven.
about the riches of his father's mansion in heaven. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I hear you. I hear you. Go ahead. Yes. I hear you.
Okay.
I hear you. Go ahead.
Talking about the riches of his father's house in heaven. Many houses and walking on the streets of gold. So there's someone there that commented, this is not religion doing, but it doesn't help. Indeed. So this is why I said this is the impact of religion in the mindset of the people. There's something that came to my awareness today, and it's something that that is reminding me of all of this, and religion is perpetrating this through the instigation of the fear of heaven. If you suffer here, you will enjoy the fruits of your suffering in heaven, which, by the way, it is conceptual, because you cannot tell me that you've been to, someone has been to heaven and they've come back. Why would you come back if the streets of, if there are many mansions in your father's house, and, you know, if there are gold in your father's house? So that's a very, very dangerous, that's a recommendation, or it's a suggestion for the mind of the people. So when you want to instill a certain, hello, can you still hear me?
Yeah, we hear you loud and clear. Loud and clear. Loud and clear. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you loud and clear. Loud and clear. Go ahead.
So religion, over time, that belief system has been knocked into the into the consciousness of Africa, because when you put that, you have no accountability for yourself. You can't make any reasonable, rational, practical action, take rational action for yourself without waiting for, a go ahead from the sky,
higher sources from the sky,
from what to do. And this is, yeah, and this is causing, a lot of, it's really killing a lot of, unaliving a lot of dreams.
yes, unaliving, yes.
Someone once said there's a lot of dreams lying in the grave than actual dreams being realized,
Yeah,
on the physical plane. So this is what is happening. There was something that came to my awareness today, which I have to mention. Although the the background of this is quite complex, but I'm just going to mention one of the reasons why, you can use religion in this way.
Yeah.
Physical. So there's a gene pool in human DNA, that when you switch that on, you can have, it's a switch that you switch on and off. And it's the gene called the worship gene. Worship gene.
Indeed.
And the worship gene can be switched on. The worship gene can be switched on by fear. By fear, which is why religion is upholding and selling this idea, marketing this idea of fear. And therefore, this activation of this gene is, it's obvious to the people who buy into the fear of, if you don't do this, you're going to end up somewhere called hell. And if you don't do this, if you don't do this, you're going to be, you're going to be punished forever and ever.
Yeah.
So when you look at those, and over time, when you start to, when the suggestion is embedded in the minds of the people, is crystallized in the mind of the people, it automatically switches on this gene, this worship gene.
Yes.
Which is, you believe something on outside of yourself. You believe a power outside of yourself, and therefore, when you believe a power outside yourself, you cannot take any action unless that power says, okay, you should do this, you should do that. And this is what's happening in Amina's case right now. I'm sure she would have been praying 5 times a day for, from the manner or from the answer to her question or to her suffering.
Looking for solution.
How am I going to do this? How am I going? And therefore, she feels very, very exonerated in her suffering. That one day, through this suffering, one day she will enjoy eternal life in the Father's house, someplace, somewhere above the sky. But in her physical lived experience, she can live in squalor. It's almost like a martyrdom.
Yes.
So this is almost like a martyrdom complex, So there's the Messiah complex. You have the martyrdom complex, to be a martyr of something, either a matter of extreme suffering, where you can physically do stuff to improve your living experience, but because the fear of the afterlife, the fear of where she's going to go if she doesn't allow herself to go through this pain.
Yeah.
It's like she's not being loyal to the entity or the Father that she calls God.
That exactly what they brainwashed her to believe in.
Exactly. And this is the thing with education, the Western education, any form of education from the West is promoting this type of ideology, and people that even go to university to that degree, they are deeply spiritual ignorant to who they are. The depth of ignorance is so deep. You know, she's a university student.
A 300 level, 300
biology,
level, studying biology.
300 level at that. 300 level. So what it makes me wonder, what are they teaching you in that institution called higher learning? It's meant to be higher learning, but looking at her situation, it does not really, it doesn't add up. Higher learning, and you are living in that squalor.
Yeah.
You can't even help yourself.
Yeah.
You can't even take simple action.
No. You
know,
can't.
in order to help yourself. I mean, these are things that we can actually, people can empower themselves.
Indeed.
With the right tool.
This is
outside
it.
of the mindsets.
This is it.
Outside of this mindset.
I mean, it beggars belief. Go ahead.
Religion is really, all of these things, religion is really, it has hurt the people of Africa, and will continue to mention that it is the impact of religion. The impact of religion. I mean, you can mention anything else, but this is the biggest problem. The impact of religion.
It
and
literally
the mindset
is.
of not being able to think outside. To think outside of the box as a result of fear. The root problem here is fear.
It is.
The root problem
it
here
is fear,
of any repercussion without stepping outside of the comfort zone.
Yeah, it's quite bad, quite sad. Thank you so much, problem solving coach. Let us hear from Kofi. Kofi, your thoughts, please. Thank you for waiting patiently. Kofi, let's hear from you, my brother. Kofi Ali, can you hear me? Kofi, are you there? Kofi, do you want to let me see if I can mute. Yeah, Kofi, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm on mute.
Okay, yes, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, well, I can hear you loud and clear. Go ahead. Welcome, my brother. Welcome. It's great to have you on board. What would you like to say?
Well, thank you very much. I think we as human beings may look alike, but we are different people. And I don't believe in superstition, but I believe human beings are unique and different. As I've spent my life as a teacher, and I'm someone who has spent a very good time learning in my life. Every seconds, I learn. And I realize the way I see the world is totally different from how anyone sees the world. Sometimes I even question myself, but why me? I lived in this country, Britain, 20 years. I committed to this 20 years trying to learn and understand why the person in this country is the way he is. I look, there used to be a time I'll go and stand under the tunnels on the bridge, and I'll be looking, how did they build this thing? How do they build that tall house? How do they do this? Because I have worked and lived across West African countries. I'm one of the few people who understand when they say this is a Nigerian, I'll tell you, I know this man standing there. And I mean it. And I've worked, I was doing my master's in Europe before I crossed to come here. So I also have an idea about Europe as a continent. And I've lived in the EU, and I live in Britain, and I could see differences and similarities. I can't count the number of times I've traveled between Gambia as a teacher. I've lived in Senegal to Ghana. Because
just out of interest, Kofi, out of interest, my brother, what were you teaching? What subjects were you teaching between Congo and what subjects?
Between Gambia West Africa. Remember, my degree, my first degree, University of Ibadan. If you go to Melambi, my name will be there.
Okay.
I was an activist in the Student Union.
Okay.
I had my degree in economics.
Okay.
Economics.
Okay.
Economics in social science department. Remember, Department of Social Sciences.
Yes.
You are jack of all trade, but master of none.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So in this country, I noticed something. You see, those who live in this country, most of the people who live here, they don't see the world properly, and that makes you, Ayo, different from them. But you, sometimes I sit quietly and you say, "What has my brother not seen? That I think I've seen." See, you see. You talk about religion. Let me use religion as a good example.
One second. Kofi, please, I don't mind. What I was trying to do, you see, I'm talking about religion from a particular perspective now. It's not, again, please, don't think I hate religion. I don't. But what I'm saying is the impact on our continent is severe. That the people, okay.
I want to tell you.
And relate it to to Amina's situation, if you can relate it to that situation.
First and foremost, Amina is not a victim of religious fanaticism. Please.
No, we're not talking about fanatism. We're not talking about fanatism. We're not. I'm not talking about fanatism.
Fatima is not a victim of a religion. Fatima is a victim of the failed state called Nigeria. Your country, if your country let you down, anyone will walk on you.
Yes.
Anyone
will
walk on you. In the world, your family protects you. Apart from your family, your mother and your father, the only community you have is your country. If your country is failing, Amina is a good case to know evidence of failure. Why I mention the word religion is that when Mr. A is holding a stick, me and my father, we are in the forest with our stick. We know why we have a stick. We use it to kill animals, to defend ourselves.
Yeah.
And Mr. B came from somewhere with a gun. And remember, when we have bow and arrow to shoot, he had a gun. But the gun also shot. So we both killed. But he killed differently. He is not going to teach me how to aim and shoot. The tool he's holding has something to do with the tool I'm holding. So I must find a way of connecting the tool in his hand with the one I know. Then I'll see whether I can modify myself, my own, to answer his own, or why both of us are having that trade.
Okay.
See, when you say religion, when you say Islam, Christianity, Ifa, Ogun, they are the same. The white man did not come to teach the man, black, yellow, or green, who is, there's a supernatural power out there. Let me be honest with you. If you know the history of Christianity, is paganism.
Yes.
The same our teachers were having. It's the same. It's superstition to organize people. Behind it are fear. We believe when you die, you can wake up again. They believe you wake up. So they didn't teach us anything. The difference is, do you know that? Let me say something. Inside Mecca, Kaaba, the father of Muhammad, his grandfather, all idol worshippers. We have the same idol. They've just modernized it to look like something. The Jews can go to stand for them. What do you think they are doing there? They have idols.
I'm going to speak in away.
They are not different from. So that is number one.
Yeah.
Leopold didn't do anything new. What they just did was they wanted to get the people to stop focusing on their idol approach and accept his idol. That's all. As soon as you can condition people, it's like a dog.
That's
The
correct.
dog is keeping his
That's correct. That's the object.
The dog. Teach the dog to eat another way, but this time you control the food. Finish. You are the master of the dog. Our ancestors have used this trick for centuries. So why are we now confused with the one that look at? And this is the difference between you and others. You see, when the white man, let me use the word white man, came to your ancestors were doing the same thing we're doing. Have our
Coffee. I've got somebody else waiting as well. So I would like you to be very succinct with your answer a little bit. I'll come back to you because
let me answer you.
Yeah.
A Nigerian like Amina, like Britain, Nigeria is designed like Britain. At first level, your family is country. The second level is the local government. There is a local government responsible for where this girl is.
Now we're talking. That's it.
The next level is the state government because she's in Lagos.
Exactly.
Now.
That's it.
The third level is the federal government.
That's correct.
They didn't do anything.
Exactly.
The fourth level that we have added, because Amina today, like European Union, she can travel to Ghana and go and live there. She doesn't need to live in that water. However, awareness is not there. And when they are going to suffer on the way, so they can't go. So Amina now, she has 4 institutions. So in Europe, when you have a problem like that, European Union will come in. By now, they will be there with their forces. Wallahi. So in our case, all our institutions are failing.
Now, I agree. Yes. Now, the question is, how do we solve it?
You see, when I saw this Amina thing, I told myself, I don't know you are going to do it. I'll broadcast on this. I've shared to so many people. I said, because I said, I'm trying to say something. You are not your grandfather.
Of course not.
You are not your great-grandfather.
Of course not.
If you know your great-grandfather, if he see you, he'll be shocked that his grandson is like this. He can do anything the white man can do. He can do anything. If there's nothing the white man can do that you cannot do. Because you are educated and you are trained. Amina is not stupid. She's educated. She's still going to university because she knows there's something in it.
Yes.
The difference is that as circumstances, Amina is in Lagos. Rent are expensive. So an abandoned house where nobody's living, she lives there. And from there she go to school, she can better have a chance to get. But who says when Amina finish, she'll get a job? So there's a problem. Our problem, and this is where I disagree with you, slightly. You see, somebody has put it into our mind, and it's the colonial masters who did that. That a Nigerian is nothing, a Ghanaian is nothing. The only good thing about you is to bring the crude oil, bring the cocoa, bring the cotton, and give it to them. They will convert it.
That's what I'm trying to stop her from doing. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that system at all. I want to bring it down.
You see, now we are talking. This is what we want to bring down. If somebody is taking advantage of you, as long as he's stronger than you, you'll be a slave forever.
Yeah. Okay.
You must find the power that will make you control him. Why are they not doing that to Chinese? 1.6 billion people. They shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Why do you think Putin? And it has not. This is where
but now, you see, Kofi, what I really want us to do, we have to give ourselves power from within. I like the idea of solutions. So if you just make a few more on the solutions part of it, then I'll bring in Don Josh. Then we can then move to the next part of the discussion because it's quite So if
the solution is very simple. Not that the federal government has not seen your video. If you think you are the only one, they know everything. Not that the state government have not seen it. Not that the local government. Do you think they don't know there's faith there? They know there's faith there. And they know she's not the only person. There are so many people there.
Yes,
Her case
I
is that
said
because she
yes.
goes to university,
Yes.
that makes it unique. I've seen people on the river in that Morocco, wherever and
This.
then students, they are going to school. They are still there.
Mhm.
It didn't start today. And therefore, Ghana, if you go to Ghana, you see how people are suffering.
Yes.
Go to Togo.
It's all over Africa. All over Africa.
But be patient. Be patient.
Mm.
We have a choice. There's a continent. We can fight on the basis of continent. Our sisters have done it and they couldn't get anywhere. Because the Arabs have their problem. South Africa. In Nigeria, which white man owned the land? Is it not we own our own land? How many white farmers or people are in Ghana? We don't have anyone. Yet we are failing. So I don't see this thing as a problem of skin color. I see it as an economic problem. We must identify ourselves. For example, I'm talking to you because you are Nigerian. If you are from Zimbabwe, you can talk and die. I will not answer you. If you are from Ethiopia, I will not answer you. Because if I'm coming to Nigeria, I don't need a visa. Our ECOWAS is there, so we own that place together. Like everybody could go to Brussels from here. But look, let us bring the solution closer and
Okay.
know what we are wanting.
Okay, so on that solution, could you tell me in a short 1 or 2 sentences? Because I'm going to bring it down just now. What is the solution that you actually propose that the community can take on right now to help Amina?
When you say community, which community are you talking about?
Whichever, however, you talked about the 4 tiers. That's part of the community. The local government, the parents, the local government, the state government, the federal government, and of course, AU. So which one would you? What do you think?
I think you made a mistake.
No, I'm just asking you. I'm asking you what your solution is. I mean, I have my own ideas, but I'm trying to think.
I didn't say AU because AU is Africa Union for the continent.
Yes.
I said ECOWAS.
ECOWAS. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. ECOWAS. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Sorry. Yes. Go ahead.
Let me tell you something. When there was problem in Niger, Nigerian government led with military that they are going there to kill people. That's not true.
Yeah, of course it is. Yes.
Yes. Good. We are going to fight. All West Africa come. We are going to fight. But when there's a problem in Nigeria, Nigeria don't allow anyone to want to come in. When they took 200 children into the bush, the 200 children, when they got tired of hiding in the bush, Boko Haram released them and they come back with babies.
Yeah.
So but this is the solution. You said something. You say you don't believe in democracy. I heard you.
No. Actually, I think you misheard me. What I'm saying, okay, only for time purposes, I'll just quickly say this and I'll move to the next person, then we can come back again. But what I will say is this. I believe in a democracy where the people are actively participating. If the people are not participating in that process, that is no longer a democracy. Very big difference. And that is the point. And that is why we're talking about going to the grassroots, getting people to know the constitution in their local languages. Because the problem, I've studied French countries, English countries across Africa, and many of them, they only have constitution in foreign languages, and many communities don't have that knowledge, and they cannot engage their government and question them. What we need to do is to bring the constitution to the people in their language. Now they can begin to engage them. Amina can do that. Yes, go ahead.
I think I disagree. You see, there are certain areas you and I disagree.
Yes, of course.
You see, but let me tell you where I want to, because in Ghana, tribalism is killing us. Seriously. We are divided. So I know what is going on in Nigeria very well, but let me leave that one.
Okay.
One language for people in the country is enough.
No. I'm not talking about you're misunderstanding me. I'm not saying that people should not have the official language. What I'm saying is for them in their community to be able to engage.
They don't have any community.
I disagree. They actually have. But let me come back to Kofi. Please let me come back to you. I want to give Don Josh a time. and then we can come back again and we can. I want to give Don George because he's been waiting, but I really thank you.
Because we need to address this division. This small,
Yeah.
there are two things. The meaning of democracy and where we are not doing what we are supposed to do.
Yeah.
And language as a country, why should everyone speak? Because there's no point educating children in school. If we are failing in our education and the children don't know the language in which the constitution is written, writing
That
them in their mother's language is not the answer.
let me actually, I disagree, but we'll come back and talk. We'll come back and talk about that in a bit more. Let me hear from Don Josh. Thank you for your contribution, Kofi. Don Josh, I know you've been waiting for a while. Do you want to say something? Are you hello, Don Josh? Are you there? Don Josh. Don Josh, can you hear me?
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I can hear you.
Yes.
Loud and clear.
Okay, good, my brother. What would you like to say? How do you see this Amina situation in terms of there are many Aminas all over Nigeria, all over Africa. What do you think we, the people of Africa, can begin to do now to address this problem collectively?
Well, Amina's situation has just come to open our eyes to see our other brother and sisters' living condition and their situation. Well, it's not, Amina has opened the door for us to see people's life. Just look at people in Makoko. I like to use Makoko specifically
Yes.
as an example.
Mm-hmm.
Just look at all the elites of Nigeria where they are living in the island.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Makoko.
Mm-hmm.
It is only in Nigeria that the elites live close to the poorest of all. They live close to them.
Mm-hmm.
I've gone to other places. Their elites stay out of town where people cannot even go. Before you even go there yourself, you risk your life, your money, your transport. In fact, the stress alone before you even reach there. But it is only our elite that live closer to the poor, the poorest of the poorest of all. So Amina has just opened, has opened all of us eyes to see the reality between the elites of Nigeria and the poor people of Nigeria. So what am I trying to say is that this is a wake-up call for all our elites to focus on the people. All over the world is the elites that builds a nation because they are the one that do the social construct of a nation. Just like the education that we are enjoying today in Nigeria is all constructed by our elites. That's why you read about Abiola, read about Awolowo, read about, regardless of what they did in the past. So it's the duty of the elites. If they really want Nigeria to work and they really want Nigeria to serve the interests of the people, not the business that they normally do with our colonial master, then it's time for them to invest in the people. Because it saddens my mind, it saddens my heart all the time when I see our elites behaving like children. Like, just go on social media now, you see that they will brag about who drives the biggest car, the most expensive car, who live in the most expensive house. But look at their country. They can't boast of their country. All over the world, their elites boast about their country. That, oh, just look at Europe, for example. It's all the work of the elite, what they have done down, the leverage they have given to their citizens. But and this is not only a Nigerian problem, it's African problem generally.
Exactly.
Where all the elites, what
Exactly.
they do is what they can buy, but they can't build a thing. They can't even build a toothpick. So, Amina issue has just opened the flawlessness of our elites. And not only our elite, the Nigerian prophet.
Yeah. Oh, are you there? Something just happened. I hope it comes. Okay,
The
good.
Nigerian people.
Yeah. My brother, can I ask you something?
So yeah.
Can I ask you something? Do you feel that it is only the elite that can actually fix the country?
Yes, definitely. Not only the elites professionals, instead of them to align with the people, open the people, I tell them, just as what you were telling Kofi, for instance, it is the duty of the Nigerian professionals to tell the people, to teach the people, like we graduate hundreds of lawyers every time. What is their job? Their job is still to do the same business, to exploit and to bring injustice to the people.
Okay.
Rather, they are the ones that are supposed to be quoting the laws, how the laws function to the people of Nigeria.
Okay.
In fact, to the most miserable people of Nigeria, like people in Makuku, people in Ajegunle, let them tell them how government is working, because Nigerian people don't really understand government. They don't know what government is all about.
I'm so
That's
glad
why when you see election time, all of us will align with our oppressor. Just like this last election, you understand what really happened.
Yes.
There was we're all engaged in their brand. Ratify, you see all of us there. Articulate, we are there. Obedient, we are there. This is not our movement. This is the movement of the elite. We are supposed to organize ourselves, build a political party to outrun these people. But we still go and queue up in their back, because Nigeria don't understand government. They don't know what is really going on. So
can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? Furthermore, I'm really glad that you're saying this, because you are on ground, because it gives me a better understanding of the perception. Now, do you feel that you can play a role in your government?
Yes, in my community, at least I've been trying to enlighten some youth, even though they don't want to hear or they want to hear.
Okay.
Like, for instance, just like last week, I was talking to the youth the other day that they should look at their environment. Just look around. The system is meant to make you to fail. I gave them, for instance, that they should look at their streets. Can they count library that is in their neighborhood?
Okay.
They could not. Can they count youth development center in their neighborhood? No. But what is in their neighborhood? Gambling house, beer parlor, hotel. All these things are meant to destroy you. And you see all the youths engage in all those activities. Night club. Right now they are building night club in our neighborhood, left, right, center. And who is building all these things? These everyday politicians.
Okay.
They own all these things.
Okay.
Instead of them to use that money to build legacy projects to equip the youth for future driven, but they are building things to destroy their future.
Let me
I enlighten them. But most of them, they got the sense out of it. But
okay.
You know, this is Nigeria.
Yes, of course.
A lot of them, they criticize me.
Look, I thank you for that, and don't give up on doing that. Now, the question I want to ask you is this: in your local government area, do you guys have monthly meetings to check on your governance?
Well, the meeting that they normally do is, which party bring the largest money for them to share. That's the only meeting they do.
Well, okay. Now, I sound.
How much politician bring for them to share?
Now, very good. I'm so glad that you're saying that you are here, and I know that's the issue. But now, from the way you are speaking to me, I really believe that you can be part of the solution already, because I know that you have an interest in seeing a functioning system. Now, what a functioning system needs is that, you see, the government, our role is to monitor them. Do you know Section 14.2a of the Nigerian Constitution?
Yes, of course.
Do you know 14.2a of the Constitution? Do you know it offhand?
No.
Okay, let me read it to you, because maybe that will make sense. Section 14.2a of the Constitution goes like this: sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this Constitution, derives its powers and authority. So it means that you speaking, children, adults, Amina, fathers, mothers, you are sovereign. you are sovereign, and our role, 14.2c goes on to state, the participation by the people in their government shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. One of the key provisions is that you are a sovereign. As a sovereign, you can participate in your governance. And that participation means that you can now be questioning your local government chairman, your state house of assembly members, your house of reps, your senators, your governors. Yes. Now, the thing is, you shouldn't do it on your own. Please, never, ever, under no circumstance. Because if you do it on your own, you are sticking your head above the parapet for them to snuff out. We don't want that. What we need, what we are trying to do now is to bring the process whereby there's a collective responsibility taken by each community. Now, I take it you're in Lagos, right? Your community is in Lagos. You're in Lagos.
Yes,
Right, okay.
yes,
Now,
Lagos.
one of the things that I've done to deepen this knowledge, because our market women, they often don't know their rights. Our farmers, àwọn àgbẹ̀, àwọn ọ̀dọ́, àwọn ẹlẹ́wàgọ̀yìn, àwọn oníbùkà, àwọn aláṣọ, àwọn onírun, so on and so forth. They don't know their rights. But if you put it in the local language, so 14.
Even with the people.
So the problem is that we have to begin the process. None of us has ever learned those rights in our language to be able to begin to question them. President Tinubu said 2 days ago, he said, summon your government. Himself, he said, summon your government. Now, this is a perfect opportunity for us to do that. And that's what I'm to address the issue about Amina. Because one more question I'd like to ask you. Do you know about Federal Accounts Allocation Committee? My brother.
Yes, I've heard. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I've heard
Now,
about it.
Do you know roughly what that is about? Do you know what it means? What it's about? What it relates to?
Well, I don't really know.
Okay, I'll tell you. I'll tell you. You see, I'm in the UK, and I'm not trying to listen. You don't have to be don't take any offense when I'm saying what I'm saying. I'm a very curious person. I like to do research. Thank you. Now, what the Federal Accounts Allocation Committee is supposed to do, they give amounts to local government, state government, federal government. So the money from oil is shared. The money from transfer of transactions in currencies is shared. The money from other taxes is shared via the Federal Accounts Allocation Committee on a monthly basis. Now, the federal government will get their cut. The state government will get their cut. The local government will get their cut. Unfortunately, what has been happening is that the state government is sitting on the amount meant to be going to the local government, and they share it among themselves. That is why you don't have good roads, no water, no light, no schools, no bridges, no healthcare.
Some state governments, they put caretaker community. They don't even elect local government.
There you go.
Like
There you go.
I'm from Cross River State.
You see?
Let me even announce it. I'm from Cross River State. The governor has been sitting on all those local governments.
Wow. Perfect.
It's the only state that they don't have local government chairman. It's caretaker.
Fantastic. Now,
so he has been sitting on all those funds.
Now, what we are trying to do now, and I am certain, I'm almost 100% certain that this is what is happening across the whole of Africa. But Nigeria, being the largest, gives us an example. Now, what we need is people like yourself within your communities to set up independent local community associations. And I say independent because anything set up by the state is to cover their backs, never ever allowing any question to. So we need to set up something called independent local community associations, on which there will be members. Everybody in the community, young and old, must be in that, independent. Number one. Number two, you make sure that you now do a walk around, an assessment of your infrastructure in that community. How bad is the roads? How bad is the light? How bad is the schools? How bad is the water? All of that, pictures, record it. Then secondly, thirdly, you record what I told you about 14.2 and 14.2c. I'm going to read to you 14.2a. So, boy, you're bad here. Do you speak Yoruba a little bit, or you don't?
Yes,
Okay.
Yes.
Now, I am going to tell you the Yoruba version of section 142A and 142C in Yoruba, because that the community needs to know that to be able to interact with the government about their rights. Many of them don't speak English. Their pidgin English is not even that good.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
and now, so what we need is this information in their local language so they can interact with the government, bypassing any of these, oh, I'm speaking English and all of that. So 142A in Yoruba goes
So
like this.
that they can even understand it in depth. So that they can understand the law in depth.
Fantastic, fantastic. Now,
English is so complex for
they,
them to comprehend.
I'm glad that you are saying this because you are on ground. This is exactly what you are confirming a lot of what I've been thinking about, and thank you very much for this. Now, 142A goes like this. Ìjọba jẹ́ ti àwọn èèyàn Nàìjíríà láti ọ̀dọ̀ ní tìjọba nípasẹ̀ òfin orílẹ̀-èdè ń gba gbogbo agbára àti àṣẹ rẹ̀. Now, the key word that the Yorubas will pick up on is that they have the àṣẹ and the agbára. So sovereignty and power, they have it, and the government derives it from them. Now they can begin to understand, they can hold the government to account, because 142C now goes, ìkópa àwọn ènìyàn nínú ìjọba wọn gbọ́dọ̀ rí dájú ní ìbámu pẹ̀lú àwọn òfin orílẹ̀-èdè yìí. So it talks about, again, the participation by the people and how they participate. They can now ask questions. How much did you get on the project for your constituency project? How much have you spent? Who are the contractors? What is left? What is the balance left? And when is it going to be completed? But all of this has to be done collectively in our communities. So the case of, for example, you could actually use the case of Amina as one case to go and look at, question all members of the community. Who are the people, students suffering? You can now call in. You write a letter to the local community and to your member of the government. So you write a letter that one copy of the letter will go to your local government chairman, a copy to the state house of assembly member, a copy to the house of reps, a copy to the senator, and a copy to the governor to come to a town hall meeting. They will have to come to a town hall meeting within your community. And remember, President Tinubu said, summon your governors. We need you to be, this is what we need to be doing. Many of us go and pray and we don't do this. And if we do not do that in our community, in our local languages, we will not be able to get the roads, the water, the light, the schools, the bridges, the healthcare, the safety, the security, because we are the people, we are the eyes and ears of our governance. And we have the power to oversee them. If we are just quiet and be praying,
exactly,
nothing will change.
Can I add something there?
Yes, please. Go ahead. Please, go ahead. Go ahead.
I just wanted to add something
Yes, please
to
do.
To what you've said and
Yeah.
to what Don Josh has said. Thanks, brother on the ground. Because there was something you said about where the people don't understand the government. And this is what we were talking about in terms of how, although not only religion, there's a lot of things, but religion cripples. It cripples the ability of the mind, and when the mind is crippled, the body does not move. So the first thing that we are doing, as brother has said, is to look at the Constitution. It's all about empowering people. We don't want to be recounting the wounds, but we want to talk about the medicine instead. And the medicine is all about the mindsets and empowering people through that. So one of the way that we are looking at that is to use the Constitution, and of course with supporting people to understand and to embody the Constitution, so that they are not afraid to summon, as Tinubu has said, President Tinubu has said, to summon their local government, their governors, to summon the government, to bring the government to account. So this is what will start to give people the confidence to do what they need to do for themselves as a community first. And then we'll start seeing some changes, we'll start seeing some tractions, because indeed, there's money allocated to doing things like this for the community. But if you don't know how to access it, if you don't know how to request it, you're not going to know that there's something available. And this is why we just feel like we are not empowered. We only have to just go and kneel down and pray and wait for manna to drop. But no, but this is taking action. This is knowing our rights first of all, and being empowered to do so, not being afraid of the government. Because there's something that I wrote here as well. We cannot solve a problem from we cannot solve a problem where at the level where the problem lies. We have to move away from where the problem was created, i.e., the elites. You know, the elites historically and now they have been for themselves. We can talk about the governments until kingdom come, they have been for themselves. But we need to take a bold and brash action in order to step out of what has been. Because so that these people know that now, you know, Nigerians are not playing anymore. We're not sitting down, we're not kneeling down and begging for crumbs. We know our rights now, and we demand our rights. In a very using the system of the government, and as President Tinubu has said, summon your government,
That's it.
Summon your governors, whatever that is. And we must do that. We must do that knowing our rights. Because if you don't know your rights and just go there, you know, you'll be shaking like a jelly by the time they're asking you questions.
Yes.
So this is what knowing your constitution is all about. It gives you that backbone to stand on. It gives the community the backbone and the steel to stand on and to be able to communicate and demand what they want.
Fantastic. Well said. I couldn't put it any better. Thank you very much for that interjection. Problem solving. I appreciate that. Don Josh. I'm really glad. Honestly, I need you to inbox me your number, because one of the things we have to do, if you're in a community, please, we need to start getting groups of people together. Tinubu himself said, summon your governors. So it is not me saying it. Your president said it. Now we are going to show you the tools that you can use. But don't do it on your own. No, I beg you, please. Don't. Don't go do it by yourself. Oh. Don't. No. Get community together. So inbox me your number, and we need to be going through. We're going to be doing courses on how you can put people together in your community to begin to call your government to account, and we will walk you through that process. Problem solving and myself and a few others, we're trying to do something like that, and we know that you can. Once you learn it, you can also teach other people in the community, because this is how we're going to break this cycle. If we do not start doing this,
I wanted to mention
yes,
the reason why we use religion. We use religion because religion historically, before religion came in, our ancestors were building. They were building empires. They were building a lot of things. They were, you know, they were farming. They were self-sufficient. But after religion came in, what happened? We were told to depend on other people for our survival, sustenance, everything.
indeed.
The whole mindset change. So this is another thing, a mindset thing.
Yes.
The whole mindset change. Instead of doing it yourself, you have to tell us first. You have to ask. You have to kneel down. And you see why this is why we are mentioning a lot of these things, but we are not. We're mentioning them from the point of highlighting where the problem is, without apportioning and constantly being in that victim stage.
We need to stop the victim
We
stage.
are using that to pinpoint where something what is the root cause, in order to then inform people, educate people the way forward, how to empower themselves going forward and the community.
Fantastic.
It's a new way of thinking.
It is. It really is. Don Josh, honestly, inbox me your number, because I know from the way you spoke, you are a person willing to be active in your community, and we need more people like that. Because we need a lot of people, and we need committed people. Because if we do not start doing this, in the next 20 years, I'm afraid we'll still be in the same spot, complain about the same thing. Something
Exactly,
has to
exactly,
change. So
exactly.
I'm so glad. Just hold fire there. If you have time, just hold fire there. But inbox me your number, please, and I'm gonna add you to the group. There's no question. We have to. This is something that we have to work on, and we can talk you through that process.
All right.
Thank you so much. Just hold on there for a minute. Now, Kofi, do you want to add anything? Let me see if I can bring somebody else on. I don't know if Kofi, do you want to add anything? Kofi, my brother, are you there? You're not answering. Okay, can you answer Kofi? Kofi, are you there? Oh, okay. I think he's probably away from his phone or something. So we'll carry on. Um,
I'm going to be
Well,
going
let me.
to sleep very
eh,
soon.
sorry.
Hello?
Well,
What did you say?
okay.
What did you say? Problem solving. Problem solving. What did you say?
Just be on for a few minutes if
Yeah,
that's okay
that's
because I
okay.
need to
That's fine.
reply.
That's fine. I know I came late, so that's fine. Listen, you've done plenty. Everything you've said today, just this evening, has really more than it's golden stuff. It's stuff that like you can really wow, pick up on. And I'm gonna try and listen back to it again. So I'm really grateful. I'm sorry I came late. I just was. It's just
Thank you.
But
No, no, it's
just
fine.
so
Thank
when you
you.
want to call, you
It's
can
just
get some rest.
I'm traveling. I'm traveling on on Friday,
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
so
whoa.
I'm just doing
Listen,
a lot of packing. That's
listen,
all.
listen. Get on with that. Honestly, just anytime you leave, we can just I understand. We've been touched. Listen, you done well. Honestly, fantastic. Yeah, you see, Millie G Radio,
Thank you.
Canada has just said fire, fire, because you hitting the nail.
Hi, Millie. You're welcome.
Yes. Hi, Cabo, Cabo, Baoni.
You are such a wealth of information,
Yeah.
problem solver.
Yes.
I enjoy listening to you and getting all this information.
Yeah.
A lot of us, we were in the dark for so many years, and so, we just welcomed the intelligence and the wisdom of our African brothers and sisters, and not all of us are going to be on the same page at this time, but the conversation just for us to open up the discussion. I think it's rare that all of us are coming together to um, to solve our own issues. Usually, they have the outsiders, trying to outsiders telling us what to do and how we should operate, and what type of things that we should do. But now we're all coming together,
Mm-hmm.
listening to each other,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes we scream at each other and
Yeah.
and get frustrated.
Yep.
But at least we're talking. For the
Yeah.
first time, we were talking,
Yeah.
and I would have loved to say that, like even me right now, contributing to this discussion, I could say to you that I'm more listening than contributing because
That's
there's a lot to learn.
yes.
I'm
Yes.
actually, my family is actually going to Africa. I think it's Ghana. I don't know if it's Ghana or Nigeria. And my mom just said it to me today. I've
Wow.
gone to Lagos one time, but they're going there to visit. And I asked if I could go along because they're leaving from the States, right? So, but I'm in Canada, so I've asked if I could tag along. So hopefully, maybe by this year, I will set foot for the first time in on the motherland.
Motherland.
But I think it's Nigeria that we're going. They're going. I'm going to ask my
Wow.
mom.
Wow.
Wow.
It's either Nigeria or
Wow.
Ghana.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
So yes.
This is
So I'm gonna cry. When I go there, I'm gonna cry.
of course, of course, of
Basically, I'm
course,
gonna
You
cry.
will
of
do.
course. Listen,
Yeah,
you're
absolutely. It's
already
from the spirit.
Omo Wale. You're welcome home. Omo Bawale. I'm naming you Omo Bawale. Our child has come home.
Omobawale,
Omo
Omobawale,
Bawale.
Millie.
A child has come. Our child has come back home. That's what it means.
Yes, and I'm gonna represent all my Yardis, Jamaicans.
Yes.
I'm gonna represent for them.
I'll write it for you now. I'll put the name on here. I'm going to put it up here because I want you to. That's the name for me.
Omobawale.
Omobo Wale. Let's
Yeah, I
put it
need to
here.
get an African name. I told you. I think I must have discussed to you that
Yeah.
about 10 years ago, I
Yeah.
expressed to my dad that I wanted to change my name. I said, I really, this is an English name. I'd love
Yeah.
to have an African name,
Yeah.
and he was upset about it. He was not happy about it. But
Yeah.
they changed their names, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
why did they do that? That's the first thing that they did was to change our names to so we lost our identity.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
I always, whenever I see an African name, I always just it just something about it, it just softens my heart. I just love it so much. And
You got one now.
so
I've written
we
it
have to
down
give
there for
our
you. I've written one for you
yeah,
now.
where is it?
It's on
Okay,
there. Omobo Wale.
okay.
Amaba
Inbox me
Wale.
too. Inbox me too.
I'll inbox
Yes,
you. I'm
and
gonna
I'm
inbox
gonna
you.
show up on everybody that I've been named by.
Yes.
Yes. So
Yes.
I just feel that even with it will come. I think right now we're slowly getting out of the spiritual oppression. We actually there was the physical slavery that was there that we were we released from, but now we got to release from the spiritual freedom. And I think that once we start get the naming ceremony and start to when we start realizing that the name is so important. I think it was yesterday when I was listening to your program. Someone said that the first thing that they did when they come to Africa is to plant a flag there of ownership, right?
Yeah, that's
And
yeah.
it's mentioned
I
that
said it. I said it. That's what they did. Yes.
oh, it was you who said it.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
I've been listening, right? And I think that by someone else's name is like they gave us this. The ownership is still on us. You know what I mean? A flag is still planted on us. So we have to, to release that. We have to get back our names. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
so important that to be released spiritually. You know what I mean? I used to watch a lot of the shows, the African shows, and the naming ceremony of a like a newborn person was such an important thing. You know what I mean?
Very.
And
Very.
so, yeah, so whoever got the idea that they have to take away our names, they really did a damage on us. That we're still
They did with the name. They did.
Yeah.
they did, yes. And
Mm.
even I'm telling you, my I think it was you, problem solver, talking about blessed yesterday. And so,
Mm-hmm.
I basically stop using that word from you said it yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've said that word so many times, right?
Mm.
And
Yeah.
I'm hearing a lot from Problem Solver.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
another gentleman that you have, but I've heard him recently that I've learned a lot from.
Mm.
But the word that you were saying that
Raz.
means
Raz is the guy.
and
You're talking
how
about
to
Raz.
use spellings and stuff. So
Yeah.
naming is such a is we have been pronouncing spells over spells. That's
Cells.
why we are wondering sometimes how we cannot get out of this rut, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's because we are cursing our own selves and we're unaware. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly.
And so, we cannot plead ignorance anymore. We know that something is happening. We have to go out there and seek knowledge on how to get ourselves out of this, this oppression.
Mm-hmm.
Even with the Nigerian anthem that you guys, I was listening to probably 2 hours yesterday.
Yes.
Because I really wanted to learn about this.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get a chance to actually go to the anthem to look at it, but you were saying that it's almost like a spell, and I and I have to look at it too. I was like, wow, because if this is indeed a spell that is pronounced, this is when I was in Jamaica. We recited as a school child. We recited the national anthem every morning. And so I don't know if it's the same with Nigeria and Ghana.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
It is.
if this is the same, can you imagine how many spells they are pronouncing over their own self by reciting this on a daily
Exactly.
So
basis?
it becomes
And
self-perpetuating.
so yes, so we have to. These are because there's lots of stuff that is like we cannot. Is like we're there, but we're not there. So there's certain things that was done to us that need to be broken. You know what I
Mm.
mean? And as I said before, I welcome everybody to hear their 2 cents because their contribution because everybody's opinion is valid, and I want to hear from every single person, and I encourage even people that are listening that they think that they don't speak the Queen's English. Please come and talk, because
Please.
you have a say too. I want to hear, because just now you told me that there's some people in Nigeria that do not speak English. I did not know that. I absolutely did not know that. So, can you imagine a lot of people probably just speaking the broken English, and maybe he's listening and is scared to come on because they feel like they're going to sound ignorant. I want to hear from we all want to hear from you.
Yeah.
What you have to say, in your broken English. And then we can have, people interpret for us if say, for instance, you have a native language that, and stuff. But I want to hear from everyone.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'll tell you what happened. I'll just tell a short story
Yes.
about.
Don't stay too late now, because you got.
Omobowale.
Yes. Bawale.
Omobowale.
Yes.
I just want to call her with her newly
Yes. Omobawale. Yes.
reborn ancestral rebirth
Yes.
name.
Thank you.
You know.
Thank you very much. I'm so honored.
No. Well, you deserve it.
So the name that the native name that I was given at birth was called Omasa. So it's the same.
Okay.
What it means.
Wow.
What it means in Urobo language.
Yes.
Different child, because it was just due to the way that my birth was. So I was different. My birth was different from my other siblings, and my mom gave me that.
Oh.
So fast forward into as I grew up, I had some issue with my mom, and and then me and my mom made up, and she said, I am going to give you a new name. I'm going to give you a new name. So it took about maybe about 15 days before me and my mom had another meeting where she called me on WhatsApp. We were on a video call. She was quite ill at the time. So that name was like a healing between me and her.
Oh.
So she said, and when she opened her mouth to pronounce that name,
Ashe.
you can, I mean, this sensation it was something that ran through my body. It was like
Ashe.
a reconnection, a healing. I just felt like that. When your heart is open, it's like you're reborn, like a new baby.
Yes.
Again.
Yes.
But in the ancestral way, she said your new name is Organetic, where that's God is enough. Organetic, where that's God is. So in Urobo land, God is Organe, and then so she gave me that before she passed away. So that was really, and 3 months after she passed away. So
fantastic.
that has been something that has, that have kept me. I was really pleased to have gone through that journey with my mother. So yeah.
Oh, thanks for sharing.
Name regardless, because I love both names. I love both native names.
Yes, me too. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you. That's an amazing connection. Almost it's similar to Omobowale, which is, and then of course you're talking about Ogene. I mean, this is really you've just opened another door here that weren't looking to get into, but nonetheless we're glad. Omobowale is the name. Omobowale. So I'll inbox you anyway. I'm going to inbox you, so you will see it there. I've written it on the screen, but I will write it in the inbox as well. So you can take that as a name, and it's a Yoruba name. Sorry?
Yes. What I feel is that when I was a child, we used to read a lot of books from Africa, and they're always, sitting around a tree on a stool. And I feel that sense that we are all, sitting around a tree, and the wise woman, problem solver yourself around the stool, speaking to us. That's how I feel. You know what I mean? Because you always see that.
Oh, I'm so honored.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone gathered around.
Yes.
I just feel like even in these boxes, we're gathered around, and you guys are on a stool, and we're listening to the wise African leaders.
Ashe. Yeah. That takes me back to my grandma. Thank you. And problem solving. You are that woman. So don't worry. That is your role. That is it. You and another. That's it. I yes. My grandma.
Do you know that someone called me Olori yesterday? They comment that
There you go.
Olori. I don't. You know
Olori.
what? You know what? I know it's a title,
It
but
is
I need
Olori.
to
Yeah,
kind of
Olori.
check it out.
It's like the Oba would have his Olori. So Olori is like the queen to the king, you know. And
Okay, okay.
in some places, it might even be Olori as the person who is the head, you know, if there's no king, you know. So yeah,
Okay.
it's a big title. That's a big title, and you are, you just
Yes,
are,
you are. Yes, you
um,
are.
Oh,
and
thank
embrace it, just embrace it.
yeah.
Problem
Um,
solver.
yeah, I was
Thank
just gonna
you.
say,
Problem solver. Yeah, problem
Yeah.
solver.
Yes,
Well,
my brother.
let me just say this. I'm feeling slippery right now, but
okay,
let me just quickly drop this.
yes,
Well, what you just said this night, it has just debunked something from my medulla oblongata about we questioning people that represent us. Well, if we begin to question them right now to bring accountability, we can even get it up to the next level that any politician or any person representing us that go out of the country for medical treatment, his
Exactly.
job has been terminated. He must
Yes.
build that hospital that he need to treat himself
there you
in
go,
our community.
there you go.
And I think
And
this thing
any
about it's really, really good.
yeah,
This thing about leaving government for
exactly.
4 years without doing anything.
Without achieving anything, and you can boast of your medical treatment abroad, sending your
Exactly.
children to European school, meanwhile your own community you are representing, they don't even have good school for their children to go. But I believe that if we begin to question them that way, they will start building our institution.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because what Africa is failing right now is because we don't have institution to represent us. That's why we are being harassed anywhere we step our
It's
foot
true.
on.
It's true.
We are being
It's
harassed.
true.
We are being
Don
spat
Josh.
on the face because we don't have institution. We are the only one on this planet
Yeah.
Earth that don't have
Mm-hmm.
institution
Exactly.
to represent
Yeah.
us. We don't
So
have school that will teach our next generation. We don't have hospital to treat us. The hospital we have right now is to treat us to go and work. Then when we are tired of working, we die. That's what that's the
Exactly.
business
you
they are in for. We
exactly.
have lawyers that we graduate every day. Instead of him to grant the people justice, rather is doing business of injustice on a daily basis. So if we begin to put the mass together, question them, call them to a round all meeting. Come on, are you people still doing the normal business, or you want to do business with us? Then, if you want to do business with us, if you cannot provide that service for us, we will consider your job terminated. So that is
Yeah.
we calling them to
Absolutely.
accountability.
There we
Now,
go.
the governor, if you
Absolutely.
cannot do anything for the state, well, problems over. Right now, I've been in Ogun State for like, I've stayed in Ogun State for like 4 years.
Yeah.
Do you know the problem of Ogun State? They don't have good roads.
Yes.
Road
Yes.
from Olusegun Oshoba
Yes.
Wow.
till now,
You
they
see.
don't have good road.
You
It's
see?
only in their
You see.
the capital. It's
So
only in the capital they have good road.
we,
But other local government, no road.
you see.
No road
My
at all.
younger brother,
So
he lives and works in Ogun State, so he always talk about the roads.
You see. Now
exactly. So if
it's
the people come to question them, okay, from Olusegun Oshoba to date,
Wow.
all the money you have been collecting for road, where is it? If you can't provide it,
Yeah.
let's lock you up.
exactly.
You for me that money, let's
Yeah.
start repair our road.
Indeed.
Exactly.
What you just said right now, it just debunk this thing from
There you go.
from my brain.
Fantastic.
At least there'll be
Fantastic.
problem solving if we begin to question them. Solutions start coming out.
That's correct.
Exactly.
Because
Yeah.
Yoruba used to say something. Ojú ni ọ̀rọ̀ wà.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni o.
Na eye. When
Ojú lọ̀rọ̀ wà. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. Òdodo ọ̀rọ̀. Yes.
ojú lọ̀rọ̀ wà. If
Yes.
we start questioning them, there will be solving problem immediately.
And you
Because they won't want to leave office.
and the thing is, Don Joss, when you start doing that, they are going to be very afraid of their moves because they know that you can question them anytime. they will start going. They will sit tight. They'll go, I'm being watched though. I can't, they'll get very.
The people are calculating their move.
That's correct. That's correct.
Looking at their move.
That's correct.
Their footsteps.
That's correct. So no,
And
fantastic. Yeah.
You don't vote them in until they start to do something before they get the office.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Until they show,
Mm.
they will show that they are capable of holding that office by doing things for the community, contributing to the community through their campaigns.
Mm. Oh, he's gone offline, but he'll come back.
I
Yeah.
think he's dropped, but
Yeah.
he's still listening.
He's still listening. Yes.
I
Yes.
think.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
So these people.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Even now, like I think you mentioned it yesterday, but I'm just echoing that by the 4 years that we give these people in government, the 4 years is like we're giving them a free ticket to just go there and do what they can do for 4 years without any
there's no follow up or no there's no legacy. There's no legacy behind what they've done. Proper legacy.
There's no governance of what they are doing.
Nobody questioning them. Yeah.
The people are not in control of calling their governments into question.
Exactly.
So like every 2 years, you monitor them. At that 2 years mark.
No, my sister. Every month. This is every month. Because if you wait, these guys will wait for things to go wrong and they'll just shut them up. They have. It has to be a monthly thing. Because what our people need, and we have to get our people into that routine of questioning constantly. Because if we leave it even for 6 months, we see. Let me give you an example. When people will protest, and everything would, and they will say, okay, they'll give you something. They will give them something small. They would ask for 100%. They would only get 10%. That 10%, people will say, okay, we'll take it, and then they will leave the problem again for the next 6 months to a year, and then they will protest again. Now we need to get into that mode. It has to be every month, so that they are checking themselves and they are also questioning the government. So I get what you're saying, but I really wanted to add to that. So
I think you're right. Historically, protest doesn't do anything much.
That's correct.
Historically, yes.
That's correct.
It raises some awareness. It raises some level of awareness, but it doesn't really
solve the problem.
It doesn't really get the right response. So it's by this way, people knowing their constitution.
That's correct.
And follow, and just demanding using their constitution because it's black and white. It's just
correct. That's correct.
Paper, so it's like the constitution of the country.
That's correct.
Unless the governor is saying or whoever is saying that I am above the constitution, which, in other words, then you're not meant to be in that role.
No.
Step down, please.
Exactly.
Step down.
So no. But problem solving. I don't want you to. Please make sure you get some rest because of you have a big move. Anytime you want to just step off and do that and then we'll catch up because I don't want you to miss that. I'll probably be maybe another half an hour. So I might talk. But let's hear from Millie and from Omobowale. I'm saying Omobowale. That's it now. Yes.
I'll speak to you soon.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Good.
On a different topic, I wanted to see what strategies are you guys going to put up in place into achieving your goals. I'm putting on my marketing hat here. What are the strategies?
Yep.
When the colonizers were colonizing the so-called New World, they came with a strategy, right?
Yes.
And for us to decolonize ourselves totally, we also have to have a strategy.
That's correct. That's correct.
So, we have to put together a strategy on how to achieve our goals, because then like a game plan, so to speak. Groundwork on how are we going to go about achieving our.
If I may just problem solving. If I may just say briefly, then you can chip in if you don't mind. Do you mind?
Yeah, okay. Sure.
Now, problem Omobowale, very good question. I want you to have it to be confident that myself, problem solving, Vanna, and a few of others as well. We've been brainstorming. We have some strategies that we are looking at, that we're working on. Indeed, this we have like a draft at the minute that we are looking at. So, but the thing is that when it comes to what we don't want to be doing is necessarily talking about it on air, because
Okay, I see what you mean. Okay.
because we need to, what we want to do is we will only be connecting it with the people who we are trying to pass the information on to do what they need to do. And I think I need to add, you have to be added into this group. You have to be added in, because I'm gonna just inbox me your number and I will add you, because that way you can get to see what we're doing as well. I'm hoping that I might be doing a meeting tomorrow. Although problem solving, you said you might be. We'll see. I mean, if anybody
No,
can
on
make it
Friday. On Friday, I'm traveling on Friday.
on Friday, okay, that's fine. So I'll see if I can chip
Yeah.
something in the afternoon or some an hour. So because so you raise a good point there, Emily and Omabawale, that about strategy. Everything has to be strategy, and in terms of what we're trying to do, because we have to be very very deliberate, and the simpler it is, that's what we're beginning to understand. The simple plan, and it was we tested something out today, impromptu. Don Josh really was quite he really proved one of the things theories that we were looking at, and one of the thoughts was that people did not understand the language in which the constitution was written, and
Okay, yes,
you
you
know
did
and
that.
and he confirmed that to us, and he's on ground, and
Right.
that was what our theory was. He actually proved that in real time, and that made us know, okay, we are headed in the right direction. Not only himself, a few others have proven it. So now we are confident that the strategy that we are putting in place is going to suit on ground. And on top of that, we want to make sure that as we are going from country to country, that it is shaping and meeting and adjusting to those countries as we go on along. This is obviously the pilot first, here in Nigeria. So that's the plan. But of course, I mean, when you come on, we would love to hear from you, because we want ideas from everybody. Oh my boy, coming home, you have a role to play in building that home. Yes, you have a role to play.
Absolutely.
So yeah, just inbox me and I will add you, and we will. Many people we are serious about this. We don't. This is not like a sprint. No, this is a marathon. This is literally a marathon, and that means that we will do things, and don't necessarily worry if it doesn't go immediately. No, in fact, we don't want speed. We have to be deliberate in the steps that we are taking. And as soon as everybody starts understanding that, and we start making simple but effective, and it has to be very simple, because we need that information to be disseminated in the right manner in the communities. That is the goal right now. That is what we need to do. And I was so proud, I was so happy when Don Josh said, yes, of course, I want to be involved. And of course, people need to know it in their language. That's the problem. They are hearing English, they can't participate. And I was like, bang, 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 bang. That's it, that's it, that's it. And I
Yeah,
was,
that was ringing a bell for me as
there you go,
well.
there you go. And I was like, fantastic. So now we just need more people to join. And those of you watching, please, whatever community you're in Africa, we are facing the same problems. Let me say that again. Wherever you are on the African continent, we are facing the same problems. It might be in a different language. You're speaking French and they're speaking English and Spanish and Portuguese, but it's the same system holding us back. Our people don't know the laws that they're governed by in their own local language. We need to start preparing our people to. We have to be prepared to fill that gap, to help them to bridge that gap, so that they can begin to be free themselves. Jimmy against the world. What's going on? We're talking about trying to empower Africans on the African continent through the use of their language to participate in the governance, in essence. So welcome on board, Jimmy, against the world. Anyway, I hope that makes sense. So yeah. So anyway, Omar Bawali. So I like the idea of strategy. Was there? Were you want to raise another point? Or two things? Any ideas? Suggestions? Sorry, suggestions.
Suggestions.
Mm.
No, I just there is the right?
Mhm. Mhm.
There is there needs to also be a strategy on how to reach them because they too are looking for ways to engage in Africa. However, with all of the colonization, the brainwashing, there is a lot of work to be done.
Yeah.
From my country, prospect from when I'm Jamaican is that we grew up in a different type of society. So we hear the musicians are always singing about, let's go back to Africa and uplift Africa.
Mhm.
But when I realize I listen to them, it's a different, it's a sort of different, they have a different, their culture differently
Mhm.
in the United States.
Mhm.
But why I raise that point is, um, they, of course, United States is the I would say the superpower, right? And they're operating within the superpower, right? And so they can have a lot to
Offer.
they'll be able to achieve for us by but I don't see them there yet because I'm listening to them too, and I have to find out different ways on how to engage them, right? Because
They if I can just quickly chip in, one of the things I've noticed is that there is this perception that we sold them into slavery. And there is a lot of anger in that place. And I've tried to address that they have to understand that Africa itself is an open prison. It is not free. Anybody that sold anybody else or did anything was for survival because we were carved up. We weren't allowed to move freely. So we were in
That's
open
correct.
prison,
Yeah.
and we have to not blame each other because that's exactly what those who the colonials created. Oh, you sold your brother. Oh, so that you start fighting, and then you forget the
Yeah.
main cause of why you came together. So I'm going to be doing a lot more in that area to talk to people and repeat this and make sure people. I've even put up the maps of Africa showing how the lines were drawn. You know, making sure that you know across the kingdoms to cut the kingdoms up so that they will not, you're living one side in Ghana, one side is in Ghana, the other side is in Ivory Coast, but yet they are the same kingdom, but and you can't speak, and one side is you have to speak French, the other side you have to speak English, and that way, it caused that division deliberately and then force people to sell to survive, you know.
Yeah, I don't. To be honest with you, that is also something that I need to do more study about because I would want to know the narrative. The narrative is coming where the narrative is coming from, right, and the source, right, that we sold ourselves or sold our brothers
I'm telling
into
you, the
slavery,
narrative
right?
it is coming from the Berlin Conference. That is part of their strategy as well. That is part
Yeah.
of their strategy. That's what they fed in. Because you see, a lot of people have come on platform and they said, "Oh, but you sold each other." And when I go and look at their DM the profile, they're usually Europeans saying that. So it's almost like they've been planted so that they can just
Yeah, we have
cross.
to tell our
Say, go ahead.
we have to tell our own stories. The Africans have to tell our own stories, and I'd love to see it coming from the African leaders to tell their own stories, because you know what I realized too is that a lot of African American is suffering from what's the word I'm calling now? The inferior complexes, right?
Yeah.
A lot of
Let me
that's
go
why.
one step further. One second. One second. One second. I don't know if you've seen me show this book. I'll go one step further. There's a professor, there's a doctor, Joy the Groy. This lady here, I don't know if you can see it. Oh, we can. Can you? Yeah. That.
No.
Post traumatic
No, I
slave
can't see it.
syndrome.
No, I can't.
Oh, hang on.
Yes.
Can you see that? Can you all see that?
Yes,
Post
I can.
Yeah.
Post traumatic slave
Yeah.
syndrome by Joy the Groy. She breaks down every single thing that the Americans have gone through. And it is a I would please get that book if you can. Joy the Groy.
Right.
Get that book.
All right.
Post traumatic slave syndrome.
Yes, I love that one because when we are operating with all the strategy, I believe it's very important to drag to not drag, but to the Americans, African Americans have a lot of say to with the strategy, because I feel that there needs to be some healing.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely,
Exactly, yeah.
absolutely.
Yes, because even sometimes I didn't even know, like the social media, when you hear African American talking about, their fellow African, American woman, you think that is their enemy, their worst enemies, right? And so, but I don't really blame them too much. I say to myself, it's a product of slavery,
It is.
and
It is.
it's still there. I mean, and I feel that we have to it's going to be a complete there's to complete everything, the strategy. They too have to have a say into what goes on.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
They do say, and I feel that this even this new wave of Africans
Mm-hmm.
are going to give more better self-esteem to the African Americans, because what is even going on in Niger and Senegal, and
Yes.
the dual leadership, they
Mm-hmm.
talk about it and they feel a sense of pride, right?
Yes, they do.
And I just feel that, when I see, that the men, African American men, if say for instance they see what's going on in Africa, the new Africa,
Mm-hmm.
they are going to more feel more better about themselves,
Indeed.
right?
Indeed.
And
Indeed.
I feel that by that they could also contribute to this the new development that's
Most
going on.
definitely.
Yeah,
Most
yeah.
definitely. Most definitely.
I think what we are doing with Africa is because, and this was I did a short video on my page in regards to what you've raised,
Mm.
as well, and the beef between Africa and America,
Yes.
the Black Americans. Yes, there need to be healing,
Mm.
but first of all, Africa is coming to the understanding of what happened pre-colonial Africa, during colonial Africa. So for the Black Americans to understand that,
Mm-hmm.
and then for the Africans to understand what I mean,
Understand, yeah.
what the Black Americans have gone through,
True,
because
yeah.
this is what would bring that healing,
Yes.
the
It is.
awareness of what has happened on both sides.
Yep. Yep.
Will bring that understanding, and therefore that healing will start to come in.
And
So
interestingly, just a quick chip in, Dr. Joy DeGroy, she's actually talked about we need to do healing. We have to be running, we should be having, the plan she suggested was actually having therapies to deal with the trauma of slavery. The trauma, in it is in our families, and it's passed down from one generation to the next. That is how deep this is. So you are absolutely on point, Omobawale. You are on point. And again, problem solving. Carry on, please. I just want to just keep going. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. So I think what, in terms of getting a video, I think Omobawale was talking about to hear an African say that they were not sold in slavery by their fellow African. I'm not sure whether I've seen a video on YouTube, but I would make a step to research that video, to search for that video. I think one of the Obas, or one of the I'm not sure whether it's Oni or Fife, or maybe one of the Obas of Benin, or one of those Obas said something about
There was a Ghanaian man who said,
it.
there was a Ghanaian Oba, a king, who said something as well that I saw.
King who said that.
Yeah, but
Okay.
but the thing is that I mean, and often they always use Tinubu, Madam Tinubu, as a person who was selling slaves and everything else. But what they don't tell you is that they were telling us this: the treaties that they signed meant that we were only supposed to trade with them on everything they wanted, and one of the things they wanted was slaves. But they don't tell you that. They don't tell you that. This is what they did.
Yeah.
So these are all sneaky things that they do behind. And of course, again, like I said, like I told you, the whole of the Africa, in 1884, when they came and they took over the whole of Africa, they did not allow any African to move anywhere. They carved up. No, no, now you are, now you're French. Now you speak French on this land. You don't speak your language.
Yeah.
We are in control. We tell you what to do. Now, no, 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 you cannot treat anybody else. You know, they controlled everything we were doing, including the sale of people. They
But yeah.
they profited
so let
from
me
it.
just give Wale something.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
There was some. So when I was researching my own line, because my own from Delta State, some of the Roboland, some of the people, Edo, Bini,
Mm-hmm.
some of the people were taken as slave. Apparently, there was about 85% of people taken from that
Wow.
region as part of
Slaves.
the transatlantic slave. So what happened was that I think there was there was obviously tribal uh, land fight amongst people.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the leaders got wind. I think they introduced him to the Portuguese people.
Mm-hmm.
So in order for him to then win the battle or the fight against
Fellow.
against the other tribe,
Mm-hmm.
against the other tribe, he bargained. I mean, the Portuguese people said to him, "We would help you in the fight, but you would need to exchange with something. Okay, you would need to exchange. Oftentimes, it's like, okay, it's almost like when people come to your land and you don't have anything that they have, and you want to have that. So if you want to have that, then you have to do an exchange or
Exactly.
a bargain. But it wasn't kind of like something that you wanted to do. It wasn't like, okay,
It was forced on you.
we've got slave, go and sell them. So it was to get something of higher value to them, that would aid them to do certain things. So just as an example, I'm just giving to Omabawa, just as an example, that was what happened around the Benin area, and with the Portuguese, when the Portuguese was introduced to one of the Oba of Benin at the time. That was similar story that happened. And of course, in other parts, I haven't properly researched what happened in detail, but that's kind of what happened. But in other words, I think what you was there was a video that you did. They've already signed a treaty that this was what they were going to do anyway, regardless of whether there was an exchange or not. These people were coming to really invade by hook or crook. They were coming to invade anyway.
Precisely.
So there was no mutual
whatever we were gonna do.
There was no mutual bargain
Yeah, whatever we wanted to do was they already planned to that we were gonna do their bidding, not ours. So we weren't in control on our own continent, on our own land. Yeah, but go ahead. Yeah, go on. Go ahead.
Things that with slavery and colonization is the dehumanization of us in the sense that they keep it's, I don't know, they call it the Darwin church, it's Darwin church, what do you call it,
Darwinism.
When it Darwinism, they labeled, and I'm going to tell you a story about that, us as monkeys and less than human, right?
Yep.
And of course, it also steeped into a lot of us self-consciousness, right? But they were doing it to say that we're not human, so they could go and take over and do whatever they want to do to us in Africa and
as they
in
please.
The Caribbean and everything. And the reason why I'm bringing that up, my ex-husband, a lot of times he would say to himself, just like blurt out, like, I look like a gorilla, don't I? Something like the effect. And I'm like, hey, that.
That is deep. That is deep self-hate right there. Deep.
The more that he said, like what he was from St. Lucia, the Caribbean. But a lot of times he would say stuff like that. You wouldn't say how Jamaicans do it, but Jamaicans don't do stuff like that. But can you imagine that in his subconsciousness, these things are out, right? Because they see it on TV, there was this hockey sports the other day that the guy, well, not only the other day, there was like, even when, African players playing, in the soccer, they'll call them monkeys.
I'll throw banana. They'll throw banana on the pitch.
Banana on them and stuff like that. And this sort of things are why I think a lot of even Black Americans choose to be with white women, right? Because in their subconsciousness are saying to them that they deserve to have the best, and the best is not going to be like a black woman, like a black person with like my complexion. So that's why I consciously wanted to have a dark skinned black man, because that's what I wanted my children to look like. But then I realized that it backfired on me, because there was all this self hate too with themselves, right? And
I think we are caught in a rock and a hard place. I wouldn't blame. Don't. You've done the right thing. I wouldn't. They're beautiful kids.
Can I say something to you that will? Can I say something to you that will help with that? That will help with that monkey and all of that. So when you have a people, I was on a live a couple of days ago, and they were talking about all of these things, and there was a whitey person on that platform. She was the only one, and so she was hearing about this story. So what she said really, really made me even pity for that race. She said, we don't know who we are. We don't know where we came from. You lots have all of this rich history, but we don't know where we came from. And when someone doesn't know where they come from, right? And what do? They will
invent,
kind of steal other people's identity. Talking about the monkey issue, talking about the monkey and all of that they've called us, that's like a projection, because on a DNA level, these people have got animal mutations in them. They are the only people that have it, not the
Asians,
not the black people.
Yeah, but we need. There's when I talk about strategy, there's a lot of work, and I don't know who raised the point about therapy, but I really believe that everyone needs to, even people in the West need a lot of therapy.
Absolutely.
Because then, that is happening.
There is.
If, we are going to.
So go ahead. You go ahead. Go ahead.
We're gonna advance, right? We don't want anyone to pull us down, and if they're having these same sort of mentality, it's gonna pull us down, right?
Exactly.
I don't know if you know the story about Uncle Tom and those type of things.
That was an invention. That was an invention. They wrote that. It was all stories, all made up stories, all designed for creating a narrative. It's all made up. None of it is true. None of it.
So I think really, if we focus on the richness of our ancestors, what they were doing before the colonizers came in, you will know that the slavery was just an interruption of that, because when you go back to ancient
Kingdom, yes,
ancient Egypt, when you read the ancient Benin Empire, the Ife Empire, you will see, when you start to read that will I don't know how I can explain it. It's like the information opens up something within you.
Yeah.
And when you start to read every word of that, it really it's almost like rewriting the DNA structure to kind of change all of those narratives. So that is why I have been for years. I thought, okay, I come from Africa. I know that I come from Africa. Blah blah blah. But when I started reading that, I felt something in my DNA subatomically. I mean, it's like something was unraveling information is light.
Right.
And when you speak it, and it connects into your DNA, it changes your DNA.
Yes.
It literally
Changes
changes your DNA, especially when you're speaking truth. Truth stored in your DNA. It's like you're getting a key and you're unlocking your DNA, and then it floods your system, and then you start cleansing it out. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
That's what's happening. No, it's really, really important. One thing you said about one of the things that they've never changed and will never change on Yoruba land. If you go into Ifa, when you get an Ifa reading, the Ifa story never changes from the time it's written. Everything is lined, and the people who are the divinators, they know that story. If you go to 10 different places, you will have the same storyline, and they are all by reading the thing they throw down. Okpele. They call it Okpele.
I would like to do that someday. I would like to
Yes.
do an Ifa reading for
Yes,
myself.
yes. So I mean, and it is, these are things that is we, before we do anything, in Yoruba land, you're supposed to do your Ifa reading. Go and get Ifa reading, and they will give you guidance. What if I did this? They will give you the answer. If you did that, literally, so that you had, it was a choice thing. It wasn't a question of just sort of saying you must do. It was based on what you came up with. And that's why worshiping our gods was so important to us. But all of that is coming back. It is. But and it's all part of the healing process. It really, really is. And having discussions like we're doing now, you can see that we are now beginning to, we are really connecting in ways that these people who came to do this nonsense didn't think it was possible for us to do. They didn't think we were able to have platforms where we can talk, exclusively among ourselves in this manner, and exchange ideas and gain knowledge and replenish each other. Because what we are doing is replenishing each other. We are replenishing our DNAs. Those people who are listening to us now, they will have a different insight into themselves. They're going to get curious about their own culture. They'll get curious about what their ancestors ate, what they did, why they wore the clothes. All of those things. It's like we're switching ourselves on. We've never had that opportunity as a group. Individually, yes,
Right.
but as a group, this is happening. I mean, the scale at which this is happening, I'm sure these guys must be frightened. Like, what is it? How do we stop this? You can't stop it.
They're saying that to recolonize Africa.
Well,
That's why I have to get active. You know what I mean?
No, they can't.
it's
They
it's
can't
it's it's
recolonize
it's
nothing.
no way. That time, the time of awareness
That
now.
time is gone.
No way. The time, we are in the age of awareness, and on the
Exactly.
on the African continent, there are youngsters. I've spoken to quite a few youngsters who are very clued on what needs to be done. And what we just need to do is to just direct them in the right way, and they need to take control. They are the youngest population on this planet, the youngest population. So I mean, that is they are the future. They're not, the rest of the world are not going to admit it, but they are the future. 1.3 billion. So what we need to do is what we're doing now. You and I, and problem solving and others, just keep talking and managing and creating spaces where we can start putting strategies, like you said, in place to start helping communities on ground. So we start identifying stakeholders, and and all of the rest of the things we need to do, and to make sure that the people are ready for that change, because it is going to, it will happen. In fact, it's already started, and nothing can stop it. Nothing can stop it. I share.
Omobowale something, because I think she would make the third female in the new anthem, in the new Nigerian anthem.
Yes.
So let's talk about.
Yes.
I'm going to
Please.
ask her first. So there's something that we're doing, Omobowale. There's something, the new anthem that we're talking about yesterday. I'm not sure whether you
all 2 hours of it. Yes, I did.
Yeah. So, and AY said we should rewrite the new anthem, but we need the females. So one to write, the other person to sing, to compose.
Another one to come up with a name. Another one to come up with a name. because
Another
we
one
are
to
going to
come
match
up with
it.
the name.
We have to match it exactly as the dawn. We have to. So
Yeah.
the name, come up. Don't worry whether or not anybody will take it. Just come up with a name for our nation, Nigeria.
Exactly.
It has to come from an
Yeah.
African.
What was the original name for that region?
We had three
Because
different. We had many different kingdoms. Many different kingdoms. We had the Oyo
Like
Empire. We had the Benin.
Nok
We had
Kingdom.
the North Kingdom. We had the Songhai Empire, and we had the and Dahomey. So we had many, and they just collapsed all of that and forced us into what we have now, and then named us. So the people in those areas, or an African woman should have a name, you know, and preferably
So
if yeah, go ahead, yeah.
so Mobile, I want to if she can to come up with the name. I can do the lyrics. I can come up with the wordings, and Vename can
Yeah,
compose it.
exactly, exactly.
I'm going to read up about it and let the ancestors
Guide, yeah.
decide on what name to give me. I'll start to read, and then
Okay.
Very good. Please don't forget, inbox me your number, and then we'll add you to the WhatsApp group, and that way we can begin to just have these discussions, because I think that's the best thing to do.
ancestors for me.
Sorry.
Yeah.
At this time, the ancestors have chosen for us to speak on their behalf. So
Yes.
down. Yes.
Ashe,
It's true.
Ashe,
Yeah.
So
Ashe.
I'm happy, Wale, that you're joining the tree.
Thank
Mm.
The tree. How do they call the tree? The tree Iyaz, or the tree wise woman
Yeah.
that will come up with the
I'll
how
get
do
the
you call
name. I know how to
Yoruba
do it.
name?
Yeah. I think they call them. No. There's a yellow day, yellow jam, and then there's something else. And then but it's when women meet at the place called Orita Meta. You know.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Orita
Yeah.
Meta. So when they meet
Orita
at
Meta. So I want to.
a road with 3 points, so and that's a very important point. And because like we said, the Flora Shaw named Nigeria. Lillian Jean Williams wrote the words, and then Mrs. Charles Kernot, aka Francis Berda or Bender, did the compose the songs. So that is the circle, or triangle, if you like. You can put a circle in a triangle, and that binds.
Yeah.
It literally binds it. You cannot move anywhere. That is exactly what's been
Yeah.
done. You know, and they did not. And the thing is that they did not allow any entries from the people who were supposed to be the people writing the songs for themselves, the Nigerians. How come it is only the words of the colonials or people from the colonials who are telling us best fits, the words that best fit? They don't have an idea of what it means to be free. They don't have the idea to get your independence from colonization. They don't. So that's clearly rigged. So yeah, I'm glad that you're on board. Go ahead.
And the singers are at the top of their game right now. So even some of those artists could have even contributed. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
When the awareness gets to the right place, I think we need to do. I think this is very, very good to actually do in this way. When the awareness gets to the right place, they will come on board, or we will get it to
Yeah.
them. But I just get my sense is that we have to match it strength for strength in the way that it's been done. Because when I studied the whole thing, I stood back and I said, "Why is this happening?" Then it suddenly jumped at me, and I realized there is a spiritual aspect to it. So now that we've done that, yeah, go ahead.
One of the stuff that I hear over and over again from, African, the youths is that Nigeria is the giant of Africa.
That's correct.
So if you're gonna write a song, it would surround the fact that they're the giants of Africa. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Because the way they wrote, in fact, what you just said there, they say, though tribes and tongues may differ, in brotherhood we stand. They wrote there. Why didn't they reflect the fact that we are the giant of Africa? It should have captured that essence. But they talk about, natives.
The giant of Africa. The giant of Africa, because this is what when I listen This is what they keep saying over and over.
Fantastic. You see,
Nigeria is the giant of Africa.
there you go. There you
Yeah.
go. There you go. See, right there, the
Yeah.
song is writing itself right there. Right before us, it's writing itself.
Yeah.
You keep,
Yeah.
so I mean,
Yeah.
I've got that word down here, but I'm sure you lazy will do that, and we will.
Yeah, the giant of Africa. Because I, you
Yeah.
know, like, because I listen and this is that word keeps coming up over and over and over.
There you go.
Nigeria, the giant of Africa. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Isn't it
So
interesting,
we're not
Omar
going to
Bawali?
use we're not going to use the word Nigeria again. We're
No.
probably
No,
just
no,
going to
I
use.
know that. I know that. I'm just
Mm,
saying that
Oh yeah, yeah,
area
sure.
mm-hmm.
is the giant of Africa.
That's
I'm gonna
correct.
come up with a name, but it will be
That's
the giant of
correct.
Africa.
That's
And you
correct.
know what? A rebranding necessary for Nigeria because they have gotten a bad rap. You know
That's
what I mean?
correct. That's
They have
correct.
gotten a bad rap, and so a new name, a new identity is necessary at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
And the thing,
Yeah.
the key thing is to put it out in the ether. And believe me, when you put something out in
Yeah.
the ether with spiritual aspect well in place, it will go somewhere.
Yeah.
Believe it, it
Mhm.
just will. It will go somewhere. It
You,
will.
Right.
you
It's.
know what? You know what? I was. Let me tell you a short story about
Mm-hmm.
what happened. Maybe like a couple of months ago, because I was in April. I was in Egypt
Mm-hmm.
for a whole month,
Wow.
and when I was going to Egypt, the plane stopped. I had a 10-hour layover in Zurich, and as I stepped onto the plane going into Egypt, so just as we're up in the sky,
Mm-hmm.
so I you know when you close your eye in the
Mm-hmm.
plane,
Mm-hmm.
and then so it was almost like they were giving me this picture, this image of as soon as I step on the land of Egypt, it's like that giant's leg.
Yes.
When a giant leg step on the land, the
Yes.
sand,
Yes.
it disturbs the
It's
sand of the
yes.
land.
Yes.
That was the image that I was being shown. So when I stepped down in Egypt, when I stepped down at the airport, I just pictured myself in that. I went to Nubia. That's the black the
Exactly.
ancient Kemet area.
Yes.
When I went there, it's like the land welcomed me. It's like I was part of the. It's like I am home, and the people were just
Wow.
absolutely nice. And throughout, when I left Aswan and went to main Egypt, when I went to the other side of Egypt, the side of where the pyramid, not where the pyramids are, but where the Red Sea is.
Yeah.
Um, People were just looking at me. It was like I was literally walking as a giant in that town, because every time I walked, they would look at me. People would just turn and look at, because I was the only person of color
There.
there. They would just turn and look at me, and even the Egyptian people, the Egyptian men, they would just the ones that will come up to me and just say to me, "Wow, I am African as well. Where are you from?" I said, "I'm Nigerian." I said, and they are saying they are African as well. I said, "Okay, okay." But you can see right there. But I did some energetic work at the Nile. I did some energetic work at the Nile,
Wow.
because the voices of the women in that area, in the whole of the world, where the voices of the women have been silenced. I did a walk with the water, because water carries information, and wherever people are, they drink water. So I was guided to do that walk at the Nile, on the Nile River. So that was what I did. That was my main purpose of going there, and I stayed there anyway for a month.
Wow.
And yeah, when I came back, that was when I was connecting with other people, doing, putting sharing my video of my trip, and things like that. So yeah, so it's almost like the ancestors were calling me to do that work on that land, on the whole of Africa, because that was like the ancient Egypt. That's like the ancient Kemet.
That's correct.
So
Kemet.
just doing the work from that perspective, and and to move that into the rest of the continent. So yeah, I think where I'm coming with this is that with this anthem, this new anthem, so it's going to be like a spiritual thing, that we are taking the rod out of the ground, the rod that they've placed to break the spirits. Uh, we're doing the spiritual work of removing the rod so that we will start seeing the connection of the spirit of the true spirit of Africa reconnecting and coming out of the lands, and coming up. Our ancestors are speaking and they're speaking loud now. So that is to do the spiritual work of removing the breakage, that's the disconnection, so that people can start to feel the land again and to feel themselves, wherever they are. Every offspring, every son, daughter of our cable land, wherever they are around the world, will start to feel the call of that African spirit within them, and will start to come back and will start to come back even without them knowing. They will start to energetically come back to the mother. Yeah. So yeah, this is
powerful stuff. And honestly, I'm as you're saying it, I'm picturing everything. I'm just seeing it set. And when you said when you remove the flag, I just saw the dust shake up, and then
yeah.
the flag is removed, and we remove it.
You know what? Since we had intention already, it's already been done. So this is just to kind of just put the action to it, so to crystallize what's been done on the spiritual, to bring it into the physical. So
absolutely.
As you've seen it, it is already done. As we've said it, it's already done.
What I notice is that everywhere that the African is, it's fertile. Listen, you see, when you talk about Egypt, right now, most of the land is desert. Why?
Yes.
Because based on the real inhabitants of Africa.
Wow.
When you go to the Sahara and you see all those people there, why is it all desert? Because the people that are supposed to be there, the natives,
yes,
out, so it becomes desert. Okay?
Yes.
So if you look at all of those places that turn desert, it's because they chased out the real natives out of it. Egypt is like a desert. I know you talk about it and stuff, but most of it you can only live at a certain.
Yes.
They're trying to see if they can turn the desert back into fertile land.
Yes.
The same thing with Libya.
Yeah.
That's what Gaddafi was trying to do, was to turn that desert land into fertile. Why?
Indeed.
Because the people were kicked out of that land, and so that land
became true.
Right?
So true. So true.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Look at even Israel right now. There's a lot of stuff that happened. That place now, they can't even have water there. Why? Because they kicked out the native people out of the land. Right?
Yes.
Same desert. Right?
Yes.
Because they were the souls. They are the souls of the place.
Exactly.
The
Everywhere that us true Africans are fertile. Nigeria is fertile.
Absolutely.
When the Germans took over Namibia and those places, to turn into a desert. Don't you see it's all desert?
Yeah.
Yes.
Turn into a desert.
Yeah.
Like right now, when I see, I'm like, well, this is like it's a desert. Why? It's because the Germans came and they said they own 90% of the land. So what happened? It becomes a desert.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
Very, very important point. Wow. I didn't think about it from that point, but you're so right. You're so right. Omobawale, thank you. Let me just quickly, please hold on for a second. We've got somebody who's just joined us. Prophet Evangelist, thank you so much. What would you like to say? Welcome on board. Thank you. Join us. Welcome.
I'm not sure what you guys are. Good evening, good morning. I
Good
don't know
morning.
what you guys are talking about.
Okay. a mixture of things. There's a picture. If you look at that picture, that's Amina in Lagos. I don't know if you had the picture of Amina. She's living in that. She's walking around in water, up to her knees or ankles. I mean, to her up to her almost her, above her knees, and that's where she lives. And she's a 300 plus uni student studying biology in University of Lagos. So and that made us start looking at the issue of our people not knowing their constitution in their local language. So we are on part of what our aim in this group is to translate that constitution. We've already translated it, but we want to disseminate it into the communities so that people can have the constitution in our Yoruba language, so they know the powers they possess and begin to activate that collectively in their community, because that is what's missing. A lot of people would hear, and it was confirmed tonight. A guy called Don George. He came on and he's living in Lagos, and he said a lot of people do not understand when they say the 1999 Constitution. They don't know that they are sovereigns. They don't know what it means. But when I translated it to him in Yoruba, I said this is perfect. If we can share this in our communities, then our people can begin to be part of that process. So that's because we want to try and give mother tongue. Thank you very much. In our mother tongue, absolutely problem solving. So one of the things that we're looking at is giving our people the ability to problem solve themselves, rather than trying to wait for Jesus Christ somewhere or Allah somewhere. Solve the problem yourself in your community and be, as collectively. That's how African kingdoms are built. Communities came together and they built those kingdoms. So this is not about blaming religion or anything. I'm just saying that our emphasis has been reliance on others doing it for us. I'm saying we can do it as a community ourselves, having the right information. So that's what we talked about. I wondered if you wanted to add to that. Then we talked about other subjects about the national anthem and the issues around that. But yeah, centrally, that was that's the main issue we discussed. And if you'd like to contribute, we welcome that from you as well. Thank you.
Okay. Let me just say good morning to everybody.
Good morning. Good morning.
My approach is fundamentally it's good to empower people with knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
That's the bit about the Constitution and all of that.
That's correct.
But even with the knowledge,
mm-hmm.
you are powerless against the likes of Tinubu.
Mm-hmm.
You are absolutely powerless. When you go to an election and the election is completely shattered, completely rigged,
mm-hmm.
completely stolen away from you, when people are denied of their rights to vote, they are killed, they are hurt, they are wounded.
Say unalive, because they don't like us using. They don't like using words like killed on TikTok. Say unalive. So okay. Yeah, thank you.
Unalive.
Yeah. Yes, thank you.
Okay. People are unalive, right?
Yes.
Is that what you mean?
Yes. That because they would what they would do is, if you were to say it a few more times, they would actually take you off the broadcast. They would have to say the person cannot talk.
Thanks for telling me that.
So that's what I'm trying to say.
People are very badly hurt just for an election. And the whole world saw what happened. If the whole world loved Nigeria, the whole world would arise and not allow that election to stand. Despite all of the baggage that this man carried, the whole world got together and some of them started congratulating him, knowing what he did to Nigeria and to Nigerians. If the constitution is translated, it's not effective for that kind of reasons.
Okay, I can see what you're saying. I understand that. But carry on.
The only language is mass action. But even with mass action, they are killing the people. So it's going to come to. I am saying it's going to come to a head where the mass action will actually happen. They will kill some, but they cannot kill all. That is the only way that we have.
Okay.
And then after that mass action, we'll be able to bring in or to vote in a government of our choice that will not be stolen from us with blood money. You know. And that's one part. With regard to the other issue you raised about the national anthem, personally, I was in support of the change for the reasons they gave for that change. I love the old anthem. I think it's better. But for the reason that it was changed, I feel we should return to the changed one. Because the one that has now been signed back into law is a colonial one. And we wanted to dissociate from that colonial past, was why it was changed in the first place. Now we're back to it. So there's a lot of baggage around it. I'm not talking about the words now. In terms of the words,
exactly.
Of the anthem itself.
My thoughts exactly. The words I could live with. I could live with it. But the baggage, and when you think about Flora Shaw naming us Nigeria, Lillian Jean Williams writing the song, and then Charles Cannot, or AKA Francis Bender, composing it. That is not that there is no part of that we the people have been involved in as citizens.
Exactly.
And that is a fundamental issue.
For the first time ever, one of my seniors in King's College was actually one of those whose entry constituted the new anthem.
Okay.
Not this one.
Yes. Yeah.
Nigerians took part
in that one.
That is so significant that it should never have been changed again. Back to the old one. This is heavily pregnant with a lot of meanings.
Yes, symbolism, and the words they write, and blessed and all that stuff, and yeah,
and it will definitely backfire. It will backfire. Mark my words.
Now
it will be changed back.
Yeah, that's true. And I'm even proposing that the young people now, women, can write their own verses and start putting it forward and say, look, this is how we see our country, not in the vision of those who have not given us progress. We demand that, if they all come together and demand for that, because that name and the anthem now, nothing is working in that nation. So that tells us that it needs a redraft from top to bottom, from the ground up. I agree with you. Just to go back onto the... Sorry, go ahead.
It will be very difficult. It will be very difficult. Sorry, it will be very difficult. You see, in Nigeria, I'm sorry that I'm focusing on Nigeria.
No, that's fine. That's okay. That's okay. People understand that. Go ahead.
There are powers that are holding Nigeria back.
No doubt.
One of those powers is Tinubu. But Tinubu is just a pawn. There are powers. Tinubu is using money. Money, buying everybody. And that is very powerful, even for these powerful people that I'm talking about. But these powerful people that I'm talking about, they actually have more money than Tinubu.
Can well believe that.
Human beings.
Yes.
At heart. They are human beings at heart. So they will not do what he did.
No.
They will not spend their money that way. But Tinubu doesn't care, because all he wanted was the power. Just to say he's president of Nigeria. He has no skills.
What did you think about when he said something? This is the last few days. He said he started calling on the people in the communities. He said, please summon your governors, demand that they allow the money meant for local government, that they give it to the local government. How did you feel about that?
Coming from him,
yes,
Galaxy Pro Max.
Okay. I'm just looking at the words. I'm not going to try. I didn't want to try and access behind it or the meaning.
Hear me.
Mm.
If an armed robber
Mm-hmm.
in the community, well known,
Mm-hmm.
killing people, armed robber,
Mm.
comes and starts to say, "Oh, let's take care of the women, let's take care of the girls,"
Mm-hmm.
it will never be right.
Mm. Mm.
There's nothing Tinubu can say
Mm.
that I will back him.
Mm.
Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Because, okay, like your program now,
Yeah.
I know you.
Yes.
You've been at this for a long time. You have your ideas.
Yes.
We don't share exactly the same ideas. You
No.
know that.
Yes.
But you have your ideas. You stuck to your ideas. You are moving up with it. Moving on and moving on. I came today to support you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Yes.
Whether I believe what you are doing or not, I respect the fact that this man has been doggedly fighting for the causes he believes in with a level of integrity that our president does not have.
Oh,
so he deserves my respect and my support.
Thank you very much. That is a heavy comparison right there. But I am grateful for your comment and I appreciate that. For compliments.
I know what I'm talking about. I do not know Tinubu personally, but I know his antiquities. And I have an uncle who worked very, very closely with him and with Aregbe Shola, who eventually died just before Aregbe Shola. He was supposed to be the chief of staff for Aregbe Shola.
Oh.
But he died immediately after, just before Aregbe Shola got his mandate, he died.
Oh.
I know how they operate. I know one of their drivers. That one of their drivers was the driver for this my uncle that died. He knows if they are in and out. He told me a lot. I know how they operate. And these people like that, they're not human. They pretend to be human. They're not human. And they're very, very deeply fetish.
Okay.
And they kill the best amongst them. They kill them off.
That we have to address. We have to address that. That's so. Yeah.
This kind of things. Sorry, that word again. This kind of things you will not hear from them. You understand? It takes somebody like me on the outside to say those things. They will never say those things. But we have experienced a lot of unnatural passing away of people. So let me just stop there.
Okay.
I hope I made a little bit of sense.
No, you have. Thank you.
To come and encourage you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate this, and it is a way. Actually, I'm probably going to be. This is
your friends have run away.
yeah. I mean, it's very late. They did say they would sign off, and I said anytime you're ready to go, just do so, and that's fine. I think what we are looking at generally is we're looking at that area that I spoke about. The awareness. I still believe that awareness is the way to go, despite the thing you said.
I agree with that. But in the back of your mind, because I don't want you to get frustrated.
Yes.
Because there's going to be very heavy artillery fire directed at you for what you're doing.
I know.
Take that from me for nothing.
Yeah.
The powers that be don't want what you want.
No.
They want that only for the Hausa people. I will not be surprised if the Hausa people have already got the constitutions translated. The Hausa people, as they pretend to be uneducated, so they are very, very sharp, very, very clever. They don't rely on the internet.
No.
They don't rely on the television. They rely on radio.
That's exactly that radio, that transistor radio. It is.
When their politicians want to communicate with them, they go to the radio Hausa. BBC radio
Hausa. Operative word BBC. Yes. Yes.
These people, they don't care about us at all.
Yeah.
And
Indeed.
our people are the ones that bastardize our people. Just like in slavery.
Yeah.
In slavery, it's our own people that sold our people.
I have an interesting I have an interesting narrative on that, sir, if you don't mind. Yes, we did, but we have to look in the wider context. I was doing some research. The whole of Africa was carved up. We couldn't move on any side. In Ghana, for example, there is a line between Ghana and Ivory Coast. One person's bedroom was said to be one bedroom. The bedroom was in Ivory Coast, and the living room was in Ghana, and they couldn't speak. From the day that they cut that line, it meant that you couldn't interact with each other, even though you were family. And the treaties that they signed. So yes, people did sell if they sold, but it was like crabs in a barrel. You have to survive in a system where you are not allowed to trade freely. The treaties that we signed were extortion. They were not. They were. There are many of the kings that didn't agree. They were deposed, or of Obarem and Jaja Vokobo. And the ones that signed those treaties became vassal kings. They became slave kings all over. This is not just in Nigeria. This is all over Africa. So I think we need to really redefine and understand. And that narrative that we sold ourselves was something that was implanted by them, without accounting for the fact that they made the whole of Africa is an open slave camp. We couldn't move freely ourselves. They controlled us, and they still control the whole of Africa till today. We had trading routes across the whole of Africa that made us viable to trade among ourselves. As soon as they started putting the lines in, starvation is happening in Africa in untold ways, because they've cut our normal route of trading by putting the lines across us. So we need to make sure.
I don't disagree with you at all.
Mm.
The point that I'm making is that I don't know if you speak Yoruba.
Mo Yoruba dada, mo gbọ́. Ẹ ṣeun. Le pani. Ó yé mi, mo gbọ́ yín.
If there are no enemies within, if there are no enemies within, the enemy outside cannot come and capture you in your house. The enemy outside always works with the enemy within.
Benny.
Always.
But still no. I still say, yeah, of course there is an element of that. I'm not going to doubt that. But the fact that every part of Africa was experiencing the same thing, and then they kept saying, and when I've been into programs where people were talking about it, and they were all saying, oh yeah, but we sold ourselves in Congo, we sold ourselves in Libya, we sold ourselves in, and then they say, hang on. Then I said, hang on. This is something that is, if it's replicated in many places, it's one thing if it happened in one place or two places, and okay. But if it was the same thing and it was happening at the same time when there was total lack of clampdown, the total clampdown on our movement.
It was all planned.
Exactly.
So
So
they did what we don't do.
yes, we planning.
They studied us.
Yes.
They studied us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, for instance, they used light-skinned slaves against people like you and I.
Thank you. All about it's all the psychology.
Thank you. It was all planned, very carefully planned. The same way they planned the countries where we're enjoying now is the same way they planned all these things. But our people, instead of sitting down to plan, they're thinking about how they are going to enrich their pockets.
Well, I mean, for me,
enrich their families.
For me, I keep telling people that what we call wealth, anything you call, if you think you're cash rich and you're wealthy, it's an illusion. All they have to just do is just change a couple of percentage points on the interest rate on your country or the rates, and you become poor. That's all they have to do. So the real wealth.
You're talking about the powerful influences in the world. You're talking international.
Yes.
I was talking local.
Okay. Yes.
So you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I know that. But these powerful influences
at home as well.
They work with the locals.
That's correct.
To achieve their objectives.
Yes.
That's the point that I was trying to make.
And you are spot on.
The same strategy that was used in the slavery period is the same slavery. They are
even
different
now.
modus operandi.
This
different modus operandi. Now they don't put chains on our necks.
Exactly.
We chain our necks ourselves and give them the rope.
That's it. In the mind. The mind. Yes. Yes.
We don't use our brain. And it starts inside the family.
Yes.
You know, family family go.
Yes. Yes.
Talk about when the wife gives his wife money to go and make stew. She will not make stew with all of that money.
Yeah. Yeah.
She will use some of the money to buy pants, to buy brazier, to buy
yes. Yes.
You know, and then she will use the rest to make money and say to the husband, we will manage it like that. The children, even when they're in boarding house, they will give long lists of things they need in the boarding house. 50% of what they don't need is on that list. They learned it from home.
Yeah, but it's our collective mindset.
Yes, that has now spread into the community at large. So we need God. This is spiritual. This is not ordinary. This is not ordinary at all. The children of Israel suffered Babylonian slavery. How did they become free? They were crying to God the way they knew. They were not obeying God anyway. They had forsaken the God. But they were crying and God saw their tears. So God sent Moses to them. We need a Moses in Nigeria. And Moses is alive. Moses is alive.
Okay, you mean in Nigeria?
In Nigeria, Moses is alive.
Okay. Okay.
The man that God has sent to us is alive.
And who's the guy?
However, my brother.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know if I want to say that.
No. Okay. I understand. I mean,
not that I'm afraid. Not that I'm afraid.
No. I understand. I understand.
The Moses is the one that won the actual election in Nigeria. Tinubu did not win.
I mean, yeah.
The last election that Buhari said he won, Buhari did not win.
No, he didn't.
Who won that election? The election before that one, that Buhari took power, Buhari did not win though. Good luck, Jonathan won that election.
Yes, I saw it. I saw it. I saw that. I did. I definitely saw that. Yes, I saw that.
I was in Ekiti. When they did the election for governor in Ekiti. Oni won that election. But these powers, they are not God.
No.
If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray, forsaking all their unrighteousness, I will hear them and come and heal their land. Is what the Bible says. First Chronicles, I believe, chapter 14, verse 7.
No, I mean it is
a fact.
Yeah. I mean I would
we need to collectively
Go ahead.
We need collective spiritual enlightenment and enrichment.
Of course.
You can see, I know for how long you've been at this now. What has been the result? Has there been any change?
Not necessarily,
You're a
no.
fighter for change.
Yes.
You are a fighter for change. Fighter for change that you've been doing for the past 7 to 10 years. I've been following you.
Wow.
What has changed?
You're right. But I believe that
I may not say a word. I'm very aware.
yes.
I know what's going on. I know who is doing what. I don't say I know everything.
No.
But you, I have been following you.
Wow. Thank you. I mean, I think
come on your live.
Yes.
I listen to you for some time and I go.
Wow.
But
Thank
today
you.
I decided to come and give you some gifts.
Yes.
I don't have money.
No.
Sorry,
Thank you.
I have a lot of money. They said,
no, we are wealthy as Africans. As Africans, we are wealthy anyway. We know it. Our resources speaks for that to that fact.
Even the Bible says, when you are poor, you are rich. When you are weak, you are strong. So in that sense, I am rich and I am strong. So I decided to come.
And I'm grateful for the gift as well. Thank you.
Give this man some gifts.
Yes, thank you.
What he's doing.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm really grateful.
But our people, rather than come and support each other.
That's it. That's the thing. Yeah. We will, and we are the ones who would have to. We have to lift it. Yes. Àsìkò. Yes. It's time to àsìkò tó káyí gbogbo yẹn padà sí àsìkò tó káyí padà, honestly.
In a village, tó bá rí èèyàn méjì mẹ́ta tó ní lárí ní village tọ́lọ́ ń bùkún fún wọn á pa wọ́n dànù ni.
I mean, mindset, you know.
Gbogbo show àtàjẹ́ tó ní all their witchcraft and evil kan fi back ẹni ẹ̀ ọ̀ kẹ́ni ẹ̀ lè dókè wọ́n á pa dànù ni. Tó bá kò díẹ̀ tó kó dókè báyìí wọ́n á cut ẹ̀ off.
No, it's time to change. I mean, that's why we're trying to raise awareness, because there's a different way to do things now, and I'm hoping that what we're doing in the program and we keep raising awareness of how we are.
Apart from being a prophet and evangelist, pastor, apostle, teacher, I'm a change management expert.
Okay.
I'm a learning and change management expert, crisis management expert.
Okay.
There's a lot I can do for government. But me, okay, sir.
No.
Because they me.
No.
The don't look like me. That's why I advise our governor to be president. They don't reckon with people like me.
No.
I'm an expert. I studied. Mufowo called me.
No.
I know how to sort out most of the critical issues that we have in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Who will give me the chance?
The problem is that they will never let one person.
The moment they see that you have these skills, they start to work against you because they don't want the change. That's why I said, "Oh my David,
Benny.
Mark my words."
I said it, you know. So and it will. Well, that's why we're hoping, you know. No. Thank you very much. I think I'm going to wind up now. It's been a real pleasure, and I thank you so much for joining me for being the last of joining for the first time.
I'm so sorry that I took your crowd away.
No, you didn't. We've been around for they've been around for over 2 hours. So, and I did say when it's time for them to leave, because one of them needs to do something urgently tomorrow morning. So I said, please don't, you know. But I'm really glad you joined us. Thank you for your for your input. Although we don't necessarily, like you said, we have different views on certain things, but I'm really, thank you very much, Miliji. Yes, fantastic. So, but nonetheless, I'm really grateful. And the thing that I like most is that on this platform, we actually welcome different points of view, because that way we can begin to sort of seek a common ground to achieve our common goal, which is the most important thing. We cannot all agree at the same thing. So I'm really, I'm really grateful and I'm thankful. And for everybody who spoke, Omobo Wale, I knew a person that I know, and she's now, that's her name now. She's from Jamaica, but she is keen for Yoruba name and for an African name. So I've named her Omobo Wale, and because she's going to be visiting home soon. So thank you very much for that, and we welcome you as well, and to Problem Solving, and to Don John, and to yourself. Yes, yeah, I see that. Thank you. Yeah. So and others. Yeah, and to everybody who commented. Sorry.
I said thank you for having me.
You're most welcome. And have a pleasant evening, and we'll do this again real soon. And I welcome you anytime. Bye. Okay, bye. Bye. So I'll let him drop off there. Okay. like I said, we have different views, and all of us we're really really quite we and that's fine. You can have a different view. Um, what we need, what we are doing on this platform, always have a room for us to discuss and allow dialogue. We don't want to shut down dialogue because we need that discussion. We're not, if we shut down dialogue, then we're doing the job of those who have actually held us back for so long, and they will keep and Africa will remain enslaved and not be free. So we are trying to do something whereby I welcome different views. We can talk about it, and I'm comfortable in saying I don't share that view in terms of religion. I'm seeing a different way. I see a different solution, and that's where we build on things in that manner. But I want to thank everybody who joined me. Please don't forget, you're welcome to follow and share, give us gifts as well, and thank you for those who have given gifts, and please do give us gifts because we do spend time on this as we're doing the show. Last share, wow, wow, I share, yes, very, I share Casulayo, yes, I share, yes, I share. Eshu. And I'm going to say Eshu. Yes, you're getting the hang of this. You're getting the hang of it, and I like it. I really like that. That is yes. I'm really great, 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 great stuff. Great to see. So, but what's left for me to say now is to say thank you very much. I'll see you guys and then tomorrow, hopefully, maybe tomorrow. The next 2 or 3 days, I may not be able to do the show at the same time, but I'll try and as much as I can. Well, tomorrow might be the last time for a few days. Then I'll be back again on Monday if I don't. But if I can do something before, I will. But I want to thank everybody. So for now, I say thank you for watching, and it's been a pleasure. And please, let's share and let's continue to talk. Engage with fellow Africans. That's what we need to do. We need to start talking, taking collective action, and build Africa. We have the solution to our problems. The solution to our problems doesn't lie in the sky. It lies within you and I, and it lies within our community. We have everything that we need, and we can collectively achieve that. For now, I say, Odaro. Good night, and may the Most High, may the ancestors, may our ancestors continue to guide us to the absolute freedom of Africa, and so it shall be. It shall be. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Kasunayo, Kasunayo. So Ashe, yes, Ashe, Ashe. So I'm gonna say that. So with that, I say good night. Good night. Good night. Yes, sir. Ow. Oof. God damn it. 3 o'clock. Oh, I go buy money. So, guys, sorry. I need to go back to it. I'm tired. Oh, boy, I'm tired now. Good night, guys. Good night. Good night, those of you on TikTok and YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to end it right here.